the Rated R Wrestling Podcast.
Rated R Wrestling Podcast. Go! Uncensored and unapologetic. Rated R Wrestling starts now.
Hey, yo! Hey, guys, what's going on? This is Aaron, a.k.a. Stud Muffin Supreme.
I'm Michael the Motherfucker.
And this...
Big Papa Coom, Dan Coomer.
Yeah, buddy. Kyle's not here today, so shame him. Shame him!
For shame.
He's got a video explanation for it, but I'll throw it in post, so we'll throw that in there.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God. Where the hell am I? Oh, hey, guys. It's I don't even have a fucking made-up name for this week, but I guess I'm Kyle this week from the Rated R Wrestling Podcast, and I don't know where the fuck I'm at here. I'm in this fucking hole or something. I don't know. I've been trapped in here for a week, and unfortunately, because of that, I will not be able to make the great debate today, our first big special. Very professional of me to do that, I must say. But I wish good luck to both competitors, to both Stud Muffin and Big Papa Coom. And Mike, hold the fort down there. Hopefully no fists flying, hopefully no teeth are knocked out. And hopefully we get a great debate, and I will be back for next week's episode. If I can get the fuck out of this closet. I can't come out of the closet, folks. That's right. I refuse to come out of this closet, apparently. And, oh shit. Oh fuck, it's the aliens coming back. Oh good lord. I'm gonna handle that, and I'll get back with you guys next week. Peace out.
Today's the big day. If you've been following our stuff, we've been promoting this for a couple weeks now. The Great Debate. This is
Great Debate.
Episode number 30 of Here Are the Podcasts. We've got our good buddy Big Papa Coom in here, like he said. And we're going to be having a friendly little verbal joust today, potentially.
Friendly.
Yes.
It should be fairly friendly. I don't think, even though we're uncensored, we'll have to do much here today.
Right. And he's rocking the Rated R Wrestling merch, which is available. You can purchase it. It is on our e-shop or whatever you want to call it.
I think I was the first person to get one.
You probably were. Some other guy, I forgot his name, but he purchased it literally right around the same time you did. But I think it was a different type of shirt. So, because I have my own Stud Muffin shirts on there too. But you're the first one I think that's bought that official shirt. So
at least in this size.
Yeah, it looks good on you. Good on you.
Looks good on everyone too.
He's the guest, and yet he wore the shirt we didn't. I wore my own thing.
I tried to find mine today. To be fair, it was elusive. But I'm on topic today. I'm wrestling. That's
like my favorite shirt from Walmart, because why is Dave Bautista on that shirt?
Yeah.
Like, okay, and then why is 2006 DX on that shirt when that's clearly the 99 Raw logo? And that's 95 Undertaker and like 97, 98 Kane. Like, who's
all over the place?
Who?
Well, that was later stage Stone Cold too, because he's got the
red, yeah. So that was probably 01, 2002.
Yeah.
So someone failed the assignment. Just throw DX in there. Throw Batista. They were on Raw.
The hottest stars on there, right?
Yeah.
Someone used AI to search it.
Yeah. We need a new one with Danhausen.
Human. Speaking of which, have you heard WWE's copywriting the term human monies?
Yep. They sure are.
They are.
Oh, my God.
So apparently we're going to have human monies.
And jars of teeth. Well, we normally do a on this day in wrestling history. It's going to be a little bit different today because we're taping it on the 27th, and it's going to be airing tomorrow on the 28th. So instead of picking and choosing, we're just going to go over both of them and then a bonus one. All right? Yeah, because
if you want to call it that,
it depends on your preference. So we're going to start with the June 27th one. The biggest moment that happened, as far as I could find, was the pipe bomb happened on this day in 2011. Anybody remember what they were doing during that time? Or are we too old?
Well, I definitely remember Cena was in the ring.
Yeah.
Yep. I was not watching it because we didn't have cable at the time, but my buddy Kevin Gilbo, who has yet to appear,
Lame. Gilbo.
he texted me and he said, dude, CM Punk's getting fired. And I said, why? He goes, he just told the audience that Vince McMahon needed to die, like on TV. And I said, what? And then I ended up watching it on like the internet like a day or two later, and it blew my mind because I was not expecting that.
I had not heard of this either.
I remember watching it live.
But I'm a little behind.
He came out, sat cross-legged on the stage, started running his mouth, and oh, hey, this is the coolest thing that's ever happened since the Attitude Era, because he's actually shoot-talking right now.
He name dropped Paul Heyman. He name dropped Brock Lesnar. Like,
he name-dropped Hulk Hogan, which was super taboo at the time.
well, not only that, he was in TNA.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yep.
Yeah. So it was like, and then not only that, he was dropping like Colt Cabana references, and it was like a lot of stuff like the casual fan probably had no idea what he was talking about.
Yeah, he was talking about taking the belt and going to greener pastures, if you understand what I mean, brother.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And at the time, I mean, it was pretty public knowledge his contract was coming up anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember when I initially saw that and found out about it, I was like, oh, no, he's actually leaving. Because I didn't think, no way, he was winning the belt from Cena after that. I didn't think he would. And, yeah, of course, I don't know how he feels about it, but I know the pipe bomb is a term that a lot of people like to use now, overly perhaps. But what kind of significance do you think that ultimately ended up having? Good or bad?
We'll wait until the debate.
Okay, fair enough.
I've got several thoughts.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But so that was for June 27th. June 28th, this day in particular in wrestling history, there really only is one that we could talk about. Hell in the Cell, 1998, King of the Ring, Mankind, and Undertaker.
Oh, yeah.
One of my top 5, maybe top 10 favorite matches ever.
I've got it up there, probably top 3.
I can't argue that.
I don't have a ready-made list, but it's at least cracking top 10.
Yeah,
For sure. And it's not even like the most athletic contest. It's the spectacle.
mm-hmm.
Like more so, how the hell did this person live after that?
Well, it wasn't a wrestling match. It was, hey, how much damage can Mick Foley take
Damn.
before he dies?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And we all thought he died a couple times.
Yeah. I mean, just the fact that they started on the top was insane.
Mm-hmm.
I like the fact that he says that his body was so messed up before the match, but the big bump actually loosened him up and he was more agile after that.
Well, and one of the iconic parts about that match was him coming out of it looking like he was smiling. Everyone's like, how's he smiling? He was like, I wasn't smiling.
Yeah.
My mouth was just that jacked
Yeah.
up
Yeah.
that I had teeth coming out of the
Yeah.
Nose.
Yeah. There's the famous tooth through the nose.
Yeah.
He said when he was smiling too, he was also trying to push his tongue through a hole that was under his lip.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people think when Taker threw him off, that was the bad bump.
No.
When he came through the cell, which was unplanned.
Yeah.
And landed on his left shoulder?
Yeah.
And all of it.
Yeah. And the problem is he's lucky he landed on that, because if he landed like neck first, he would have folded like a potato and probably would not have gotten out of that ring at all.
No. And Taker said when that happened, he's like, I just killed Mick.
Yeah. He told Terry Funk, he said, go see if he's still alive. And then poor Terry Funk gets choke slammed out of his shoes.
And then I wake up and all I see is a pair of shoes.
Yeah. Go check out Mick Foley's recollection on this event.
Inside the ropes.
Yes.
Yeah.
He tells a really great story.
Mm-hmm.
But what memory he does have of it, because he has a lot of his memories of it are watching afterwards. Because
Yes, and then putting it together from the memories he has of it.
Undertaker got injured that night too. He broke his foot
Yeah,
coming
his
down.
foot was already broke.
Well, he made it worse when he hopped down from
Yes.
the yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
But that's also why Mick went down awkward, because Taker couldn't put all of his weight on his foot.
yeah. JR put it best when the match was over. He goes, mercifully, this one's over.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite underrated Jim Ross calls because that encapsulated the car crash that we just watched.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think they've ever topped a cell match like that.
No.
Ever. I mean,
They've tried, but
The Armageddon Hell in a Cell was the most balls to the wall attempt.
Yes, I agree. Well, they've never even attempted to do that one again either.
Never again.
Just
No more than 4 people ever again.
Yeah.
That.
They might have done, they've done tag team cells.
yes.
But I don't think they've ever done like more than 4 individuals fighting.
I don't think they have either.
No, which
That's why they developed the
chamber.
elimination chamber.
Yeah. Mhm.
Not what I was expecting.
Did you get a different flavor?
It looks like a pink lemon, but it's actually sugar cookie.
Oh,
So a little surprise. Dum Dums.
not a sponsor.
Keep it up. Surprise the shit out of me.
But yes, that match.
Could be a sponsor.
No, you're good. But we talk about the significance of the pipe bomb, the significance of this Hell in a Cell match. I mean, like it created. I feel like at least with Seeds, it created future crazy guys like Darby Allin, other like hardcore like. I'm using him as like a modern example because I feel like he's the type of guy that would do that now.
Well,
Jeff Hardy.
Jeff Hardy.
Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
He was in it at the time, but that inspired him to go bigger.
Yeah.
But you go look at all the CZWs.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's probably where a lot of those Nick Gage and
Without mankind, there is no abyss.
no. Shout out Chris Parks,
Yeah.
local boy.
NWF.
Yeah. Which they did a show over at the Budget outlet over there in Latonia.
Yeah, they do that once a month.
I was there a couple months ago, and Chris Harris and a couple other guys were there. I didn't go up to them though because I didn't. They looked like they were busy, but
Don't tell Kyle about it.
oh, Kyle likes. He's going to get us in trouble because he said he wants to go up to Chris.
He wants to do
If
the
you're
thing.
going where I think you're going, I'm telling you, that's a bad idea.
He wants to do the thing you should not do to Chris Harris.
Because I've told you this.
Yes.
But he's my father-in-law's next door neighbor.
Yeah.
You do not mention Chris Harris's time in WWE.
Yeah.
He will tell you that's what ruined his career.
Yeah. I believe it would be a pretty sore subject. I'd be very fascinated to hear his take on it, but I get it. I mean, it's probably not very nice when he looks on YouTube and sees the best of Braden Walker Hall of Fame edition. That's one of the best YouTube videos I've ever seen. Sorry, Chris, but I had to laugh at that. That time he talked to Matt Hardy.
Maybe if we gift him with like a party pack of Jack Daniels, like a sixer bottles.
Yeah, don't bring up alcohol around him either.
Golden Corral.
It gives them PTSD of James Storm in the beer.
Gives him ideas of getting his DWIs.
Well, yeah.
Time.
And I know we're on the subject of Chris, but I saw him a couple of times because when I go to Planet Fitness, I saw him there a couple of times. I was like, whoa, it was crazy. My wife, she went with me one time. She goes, well, go up and say hi. I'm like, nah, I don't bug celebrities out in public. Because I think it's, for one, I don't know what kind of mood you're in. If you don't feel like talking to somebody. Plus, he's at the gym. He's probably just wants to get there and get his stuff and get out. So, but,
well, it's no worse than my 10-year-old brother-in-law running up to his house saying, "Hey, Chris, can we talk about wrestling?" No, I'm trying to watch The Walking Dead.
Yeah. This is my time away from it. Let me be. But yeah. But in all, but we're going to switch gears to another on this day because technically it is in the history books. So I wasn't privy to this because I was at a theater, but Night of Champions happened today. And there's a
Night of Champions at 1 o'clock.
Yes. Well, it was Night of Champions over in that neck of the woods. Yes.
The afternoon of champions.
The noon of champions. I like that one. That's pretty cool. But a lot of things happened that night, but the one that we're going to talk about specifically, why don't you go ahead and carry us away here? Here it comes.
So on this day in 2026, Sami Zayn became WWE champion.
Whoa! What the?
10 years ago, I would have been like, okay, cool. He deserves it. But the hometown boy, as they called him.
Yes, they did. And for some people, it might be like, what? Well,
What?
He is Muslim. He is of Syrian and stuff descent.
From Syria. Well, Syrian descent.
Yeah.
He's from Quebec.
He's a redheaded Canadian Muslim Syrian. It's so weird.
Well, he's from Syrian descent, which I looked up. Syria is a 20-hour drive from Saudi Arabia. So saying that he's a hometown boy in Saudi Arabia is like saying Bret Hart is a hometown boy in Mobile, Alabama.
As long as Goldberg ain't working there. But the hometown thing is a bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
Which is so weird because when they first started doing those Saudi shows, like he wasn't going to those.
No, because here's the other thing about that. Syria and Saudi Arabia hated each other.
Yeah. So it was like, I never expected him to show up there. And then him and KO win the tag belts there one year, or defended them one year there. He came out and he got like the Austin pop.
Yeah.
It was crazy. So, but in regards to him winning tonight, I mean, I knew this was going to happen at least either now or Mania. Because they're going to be in Mania next year there.
I thought he was handed the shovel. I thought his time had come and gone.
Well, the gingerbread man thing didn't help.
Right. I was trying to get that ammo loaded up for this debate, but then WWE just handed it to me on a silver platter with this crap.
So you could obviously tell he's not a big fan. Like I said, you actually pointed out too, if it had been 10 years ago, it'd probably been a lot better.
Yeah.
Because to me, 10 years ago, Sami Zayn had the greatest NXT match of all time, and I thought he was on his way up. I think that the only thing about it, though, that I kind of do I like him being too nice, that he's kind of coming off as being a dick. Like I am the nicest guy, or the best, or however the hell he phrases it. He's
the last good guy.
The last good guy.
Yeah, they said that 150 times.
Trying to drill it in our brains. I do kind of like that because I feel like he's getting the heat of okay, kid, quit running your mouth about that. That's stupid. I don't think this is going to be a long title run. I think he's going to be a transitional champion.
Yeah.
My thing is, because I wanted Gunther to win this belt tonight. A lot of people wanted Cody to lose it. They were tired of Cody having it. A lot of people were complaining, oh, Gunther's buried. And then now people are complaining about Sami Zayn. So my thought is, doesn't seem like anybody would be happy tonight.
No. The only logical thing for me was Gunther. But looking at the storytelling on the wall, Obafemi. Sorry, more spoilers here. If you haven't seen it. He won King of the Ring.
The IWC did not melt down and collapse today, folks. That's where it was heading, apparently.
Yeah. But he won, so he gets the chance to choose an opponent at SummerSlam.
Well, I'm wanting this Oba Roman match, so I believe we're going in the right direction on that one, because that's going to be huge.
I would love to see that. There's a part of me that thinks that, knowing WWE, they're going to try to make a comedy bit out of it and just have Oba eat Sammy alive. Or Oba says, I'm not worried about a title, and they have Oba Brock 3 because it's in
Minnesota. That does bring the question, because a lot of people were talking about, especially on Twitter, Oba versus Brock night 1, Oba versus Roman night 2. Is that overkill? Because if they do that and he wins both of them, that's the biggest rocket they've ever thrown on anybody.
Right. It also opens a scary door to having the same person be in multiple matches in the same event. We would have hated this during the Cena era.
True.
Hated this.
True.
And this is a scary door, and I don't really want to open it.
Honestly, though, they've done it before, and sometimes it has worked.
WrestleMania 40.
Right.
That worked.
Look at Hart back in the day, when they did the King of the Ring right.
One night, which it should be one
the entire tournament.
Yeah. Yeah.
I agree with that as well.
Yeah.
But Let's look at the multiple matches in the same night botch. Hogan, Bret Hart.
Oh yeah.
Are we looking at another possible? If we see Obo twice.
I don't think it would be that bad.
I don't think so.
Here's the thing about WrestleMania 9. One, Hogan was in a tag match earlier with frickin' Brutus Beefcake, which that alone should tell you everything you need to know about this event.
Yeah.
They won that. As he's out there with a big shiner on his eye. Ooh, I wonder where Randy Savage is.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, Brett loses this match, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I want Hulk Hogan to go in there and win it for the good guys." And even back in the early '90s bullcrap that they had, that didn't make sense.
No. Why? And for two things. One, why would Yokozuna want that?
Right.
He's like, nah, bring him in. I'm just dying of oxygen deprivation, but bring him in. I like the joke. Someone said Brett was blinded. He was actually telling Hogan, get the hell backstage. Just go. Go. But he was actually pointing to the ring. And Hogan's like, okay, brother, you said it.
Not knowing Brett, he probably was. But that's a discussion for episode 6.
Him to go. Yeah. Yeah. We probably mentioned a little bit of that on our WrestleMania retrospective. I don't remember how much we probably touched on it, but I'd imagine we had to have. Because I think, because my brother, he's got a big take on that too. So, but yeah, that's the big thing about today. Also, Sami Zayn is the champion. We'll see how that goes.
Things that have happened on this day in wrestling.
Absolutely. And we're going to get to the meat of the matter, the thing that I hope a lot of you are here for, the big debate. Now, I mentioned this last week. We've had our playful jousts over social media.
Yes.
He is a big fan of AEW.
Yes.
And not a big fan of CM Punk.
Absolutely.
I am the opposite. I am a big fan of CM Punk, and I'm not a big fan of AEW. So what better way than just have a cool little discussion, air out our differences, and then Mike's going to be our mediator, and he's not going to be quiet, folks. He's going to give his 2 cents on things because he's you're sort of in the middle of a lot of things.
I'm of the potential candidates to do this, the most middle oriented.
Yeah. So
that pretty much puts me here in the seat, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh yeah. So the way it's going to work, I mean, we're not professional debaters, but he's got a list of questions, and he'll ask us, and we'll each have our own time to answer it, and then we can respond to the other guy, and then whenever you want to put in your 2 cents, we're just going to wing it.
I feel like I should be upfront and honest before we start this. I am a debate coach.
Oh, well, there you go. I'm at a very big disadvantage. I'm just kidding. Gotcha. All right. So you've got the list, sir.
I do.
Feel free.
So we're gonna break this up in the rounds, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm gonna change our wording here.
Oh, go ahead.
We're gonna do the our opening moves here, ladies and gentlemen. Our opening jabs, if you will, to try to break the armor. Question 1: why is your chosen company currently the better wrestling product? We'll start with Daniel first.
Fair enough.
So AEW is a better product simply because of the talent they have. How many 5-star wrestlers does WWE currently have on their roster?
I don't know. Let's ask Dave Meltzer. I believe. Well, if you're going to go by Dave Meltzer, nowhere near as much as AEW. My thing is WWE doesn't do the AEW style matches. My theory was the reason why AEW has such a loyal and rabid fan base is they have the high octane, like balls to the wall wrestling matches. WWE will pull those out of their ass once or twice. Not as much as AEW by far, not at all. They try to focus more on storytelling, which AEW, I'm not one of those people that says there's no storytelling in AEW. There is. But they seem to prioritize the flashy moves more, I feel. And if we're going to go by that question, yeah, if you're going to go by the 5-star wrestlers, AEW definitely has the more flashier wrestlers. So I'll concede to that.
Right. Well, and my thing is, storytelling's there for WWE. Absolutely. But the problem is the storytelling needs to also be in the ring. You have this big, long feud going on with these guys going back and forth on the mic, but then they get to the ring, and a lot of times here lately, the matches are over like that. Look at Mania. There was 7 hours, almost 8 hours worth of stuff there, and 2 hours and 48 minutes of actual wrestling over 2 days.
Oh, I agree with that. We've brought that up before too. The whole freaking TKO ad crap and the commercials, and it's like WrestleMania, wrestling's in the name. So yeah, we need more wrestling in there. So I agree with you on that one.
Yeah. So that's why I say AEW has the better wrestling product. If you put wrestling in the name of your product, it needs to be a wrestling event. They do have the E at the end. Obviously, they need the entertainment. Vince built that up big.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, the sports part of sports entertainment needs to come through too. And AEW exemplifies that, especially with their big name talent like Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega, Okada. MJF is probably the hottest heel in wrestling right now, if not in the last 10 to 15 years.
Oh, 100%. I can't disagree with that, MJF. Although I do feel like he's cooled off. I feel like he's cooled off a little bit, especially just where the position that he's in. I feel like as he's the world champion, he's not. I mean, they're this deal with. I know they're building up for All In.
Yes,
We're killing time for All In, and I can talk about that. That what I think should happen, what I think is going to happen. But in my defense, I feel like WWE is it's its own entity. It's not. It's entertainment. It's definitely not the pure pro wrestling. Which my problem is there's so many different indie feds out there that do exactly what AEW does, but they don't have the budget. So when people say, "Oh, AEW is better because we have the wrestling," but that's not the grand scheme of the large audience. Pure wrestling standpoint, yeah, they're going to get that. But I think as the entire wrestling package, pro wrestling package, because pro wrestling is more than just the wrestling matches. It's the story and the drama. I just feel like WWE has it. And then as far as being in the match goes, if you remember like the early Bloodline stuff, that was nothing but drama and storyline in those matches as well. Not as much now, but I feel like they know what they're doing with that. So that's where I still fall in line with the WWE stuff. It entertains me more ultimately at the end of the day. That's just
okay. So you brought up the Bloodline, and I feel like the Bloodline is the perfect example why I argue against WWE on this standpoint, because I feel like it's regurgitated stuff over and over and over.
Yeah, it's something that should have ended a longer than
Today was the perfect example with Sami Zayn. Any other time in history, they're not thinking about putting that belt on Sami Zayn.
Mm-mm.
They went for a hometown hero nostalgia pop there. That's what they got.
Honestly, he should have, if he was going to win it when he faced Roman 3 years ago, that would have been the time to do it.
That was the time.
Yeah.
But now that they threw together this, hey, there's a random third guy mixed in with Cody and Gunther, and we're going to do this. I don't feel like that's a good story, especially what they did in the ring. They did all the typical triple threat cliches. Oh, hey, the third guy jumps in and breaks up the obvious end.
Two guys going to fight. There's going to be a powder.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. At the end of the day, though, if you're looking at total package, yeah, there are indies that blow both of them out of the water when you come to wrestling. But total package, presentation, ring sets, you've got guys that know how to talk. That's AEW. With WWE, I feel it's more entertainment than wrestling. Where AEW, you get both. Are there some crappy things that come out of it from time to time? 100%.
That's fair.
But at the end of the day, you've got the Khan's money, and you've got the best wrestlers in the world. you might want to sit there and say, well, WWE is better because of the longevity and they've built this up and that. Just because they're the most well-known doesn't make them the best. Would you rather listen to Taylor Swift or Queen?
Oh, I'd rather listen to Queen.
100%. You know who sold more albums?
Taylor Swift. Fair analogy. It's almost kind of like McDonald's or Burger King. Yeah.
I had that on my list too. But I tried to go with something other than Burger King.
Right.
If we're comparing WWE like McDonald's and Burger King like another wrestling promotion, I'd have to go with JCW.
Fair enough. You have any thoughts there, bud?
I have a couple. I feel this is going to come up a few times, so I want to put my 2 cents on it here and now. The 5-star match ratings. And I'm not even going to go into any kind of potential leaning one way or the other, but I am going to mention the multiplication of 5-star ratings since AEW started versus before.
You're talking about like the frequency of them that happen after they started? Is that
The
what-
sheer number.
Well, I think, if I'm not mistaken, what Will Ospreay has like 61 5-star matches? 53. I knew it was like up in like past 40.
So I won't question Dave's opinion, but I will say that there needs to be a second opinion on some of these 5 stars.
Well,
Like maybe
Michael,
a second wholly independent judge.
I'm glad you bring that up.
Yes.
Because Cage Side Seats also has a rating system. And according to Cage Side Seats, you have your best ever matches here. AEW's best ever match was Danielson versus Ospreay, 6.5 stars. Cage Side Seats gave them a 9.8 out of 10. WWE, Brett versus Austin. We can all agree that's probably one of the best.
Oh, that's one of the best ever.
Yeah.
For sure.
Dave gave it a 5-star. Cage Side gave it a 9.7. Then you go down to the 7-star match. Okada Omega 4. 7 stars by Dave Meltzer. 9.95 by Cage Side. So even if you take Dave Meltzer out of the equation here and say, oh, he's just playing favorites, you have another system backing up these ratings with Cage Side. And a lot of times these are hardcore fans going in and actually voting. So if you look at it from the Rotten Tomatoes standpoint, you have your critic rating and your audience rating, if you will.
So I'll bounce off what you were thinking. I think one of the issues that I see brought up a lot, and everybody has their own opinion about it. I think because somebody will say, well, Dave is giving Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay, Young Bucks, all these guys, all these 5-star matches, but Kurt Angle doesn't have a 5-star match. And that's one of the big things you hear a lot of people talk about is with the 5-star system, Kurt Angle barely, or I don't even know if I don't think he has a full 5-star match. I think that's where a lot of the big bone of contention is with a lot of people with Dave Meltzer, which Dave is a man he's a fan of wrestling. He has his own taste or whatever you like. That's just going to be his opinion. You don't have to take his opinion to gospel. That's just one guy's thing.
Right.
But I think it became like a meme where it just seemed like, and I got that impression sometimes. I can't confirm it. I don't think it's the case. I just think he really loves AEW style of wrestling. He just handed out those 5 stars so much, it became a meme where people was like, oh, Dave's on the take. He must.
I actually would like to lean into Dave possibly being on the take.
Okay.
I don't think Dave's on the take, but I do believe Dave values Tony's asking Dave of his opinion.
Oh, okay.
I believe they're close enough where Tony will approach Dave. Hey, what do you think if I do this? What do you think if this happens? Kind of insider stuff, and I think it tickles Dave to no end.
I mean,
Now, I love his point that Cage Side Seats is the second opinion, but I do have to question their audience size. That is what, a fraction that's voting on this. So it's nice, but I think we need something
Like incorporate
encompassing.
different, like,
Well, and at the end of the day, I don't really think you'll ever get that with anything.
no, probably not.
The biggest takeaway I had from all of this stuff that I pulled up, Sports Illustrated. Okay. I'd say they have a pretty good take on most sports related things.
Pretty reputable name.
Or at least used to.
At least used to, yeah. Their match of the year for at least the last couple years have been AEW matches.
Mhm.
And a lot of them went against Dave's pick for match of the year. But they were still AEW picks.
Fair enough.
Out of all the things that I seen for 25, at least 24 different things picked AEW matches for match of the year. And it came down to 2 matches every time. There was one thing in all of this stuff that voted for a WWE match of the year, and it was out of New York.
Oh, well,
So,
that's
mind you, it was a very good match with Bianca Belair, Io Sky, and Rhea Ripley.
Mhm. Yeah.
Great match.
Mhm.
I agree that it deserves to be in the top 10, which most things gave it that top 10 nod.
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, though, if these critics are looking strictly at the wrestling aspect of it, that's why AEW matches are getting these nods over WWE matches, especially this year at Mania.
Oh, yeah.
This year at Mania, you had one match that was worthy to be called, hey, this is in the running for match of the year, which, cutting off my nose to spite my face here, it was Roman versus Punk.
That match was great. What about the Brock Oba match? Because I thought that was spectacle enough to where that could potentially.
Personally, I loved it. I thought it was perfect. That's another argument I have against WWE. Well, not even WWE at this point. TKO.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're the ones that said, no, Brock, you're still under contract. That is not how you're ending this.
Yeah.
The man had a perfect ending.
It was a beautiful ending.
And if I was giving out ratings, I would give that a very high rating.
I think Dave gave that did he give that a 5-star?
He didn't give it 5.
Oh, but it was rather close. It had to be over 4.
I want to say it was it was over 4.5.
Okay, yeah, I knew it was either 4
There
or
were
4.5.
2 matches on that entire card that got over a 4.
Yeah, I think it was that one and then the Punk Reigns match, wasn't it? Because I think he gave Punk and Reigns 5.
That was a 5, yes.
So I want to hit you guys with the next opening move here. What is the biggest misconception fans have about WWE? And we'll start with Aaron.
The biggest misconception, I think, is they and kind of alluded to this, and we talked about this in the last segment, but they don't, well, especially with the hardcore AEW fans, they'll say, well, WWE's not wrestling. Problem is, yes, there's a lot of entertainment to it, but you look at a guy like Chad Gable, you look at a guy like Javon Evans, Penta, there are so many great wrestlers there that if they did the AEW style match or the bigger, more non-entertainment style matches, they'd be blowing people out of the roof. And they break those out once in a while. Chad Gable and Penta on Penta's debut was freaking great. I think that's a big misconception that there's not real, that's just bodies. They're not real wrestlers. And I think, and you probably agree, there's great wrestlers in WWE.
100%.
Yeah. So that's my biggest thing, I think, is a huge misconception about that.
So I'll even back you up there. El Grande versus El Grande.
Oh, yeah.
That was an absolute banger. Granted, technically it was AAA,
Yeah.
but at this point, AAA is...
But it's owned, so technically WWE will claim it. Yeah.
Yeah. And Taker booked it.
Yeah, that was crazy. Crazy, right? To think about that.
But absolute beautiful match. 5.75.
Yeah, that one got a very high rating.
Yeah. They have the potential to do great things. Chad Gable actually came up a lot in the 5-star ratings.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of the points I was going to make about you bringing up Angle. Angle was a great wrestler, but who was he wrestling? To have a great 5-star match, you can throw the best wrestler of all time in there, but if they're going up against Eugene or Ryback or somebody like that.
What about Eddie Guerrero? Him and Eddie's match I don't think that got 5 stars. I think
Angle, Benoit.
As much as I'm not a big fan of Benoit personally, I think
Right.
him and Kurt had amazing matches.
They absolutely did.
Ray and Kurt from SummerSlam 02.
Edge are highly underrated.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and Angle is one of those guys. He got a lot of high 4s.
Oh, for sure.
But going off of the question, biggest misconception with WWE, it's better because McMahon's gone. I know this is one of the things you guys brought up last week.
Oh, I agree.
And I berated.
As far as sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I think I said him being gone was better as for the opportunity for talent.
Yes. And it is, because there's a lot of talent that couldn't stand him because he had his mindset still back in the 80s and 90s where it was the good old boy system and it's, oh, hey, let's get big brawly men in here. Let's get the girls in with the biggest tits and blonde hair, the cheerleaders.
Yeah.
That's not where we're at in today's society.
No.
On the flip side of that, though, the man built the company.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He's
You can
got
never
an
take that
amazing
away from him.
business mind.
No.
And another thing you guys brought up last week was he wanted to make sure people could come see it.
Oh, yeah. That's the best.
WrestleMania, as big of a spectacle as it is, McMahon said himself, he wanted that to be the wrestling Super Bowl. But he didn't want people to have to pay Super Bowl prices.
Yeah, 100%.
And at the end of the day, McMahon being gone on a moral level, yeah. Guy was doing shady stuff behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But from a business standpoint, he knew what he was doing.
That's absolutely fair.
Not at the end of the day, if you get a proper businessman into something, they're going to know how to run a company. He knew how to run his company.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, he was pooping on people and doing other stuff behind the scenes.
I'm gonna poop on you.
He's gonna poop. He's gonna poop.
But when it came down to paperwork, when it came down to what was on the sheets, he knew how to run his business. And I think right now what TKO is doing is going to eventually screw not only WWE over, but wrestling as a whole.
Yeah.
Because people are going to be like, oh my gosh, it's too expensive to
Gonna
do
dry up
this
the
now.
market.
Yeah.
Right. Again, going McDonald's. McDouble was $1 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And now McDouble's
Like-
almost $3.
Yeah.
Guess what? I'm going to go to Five Guys.
You might as well at that point.
Right. Same deal with wrestling. Why am I going to go watch a show for the nosebleed seats and pay $200 when I can go up the road and watch a great play for less than that?
Yeah. That's fair. I get you on that one.
So I think the biggest misconception with WWE is it's better that Vince is gone.
Yeah. Now, what was your point that you were going to bring up?
Last week's episode, I don't know if anyone saw it or even cared, but I was on the cruise ship watching your watching and just fucking in the damn comments my 2 cents.
Oh, I did see that, your chain of your comments.
Yes.
Yeah. I logged in and it said you have like 6 or 7 comments. I'm like, wow, that's awesome. And then I was like, oh, he's putting in his opinion. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So you were still technically a part of it, not physically, but
But my point was very quiet, but I wish I could have gotten it across. Vince needs to come back, but he needs a check. He needs someone that holds as much power as him, that only gets consulted when Vince starts doing Vince things, writing the script last minute.
Oh yeah, we can't have that.
Yeah. Stuff like that. That person basically has the power to check Vince. Know what we're gonna do with what we did.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that. Like I said, it sucks. It's a sucky situation because on one hand, you want Vince back because of the structure of how he did the business with like tickets. But on a moral standpoint, nah, you don't want him anywhere near, especially if he was back. Look at all the stuff, and Triple H gets a lot of flack, but all the stuff he tried to do with guys that Vince would never take a second look at, that who knows how much that would be erased. So it's a catch-22. It's like, you're going to get the good and you're going to get the bad. So it's like, pick your poison. What do you want?
Well, you have to remember it would actually be long-term good for AEW as well. Vince's attitude towards AEW was,
AEW wouldn't exist without Vince McMahon.
But he also didn't care to kill it. He had the chance before it started, what they're doing now, buying up the market so they can't get superstars. Vince didn't care.
Well,
Vince
he made the attempt to kill it before it started.
And he killed Black and Gold for it. He sacrificed it.
Yes. So one of the things he could have done was write one more zero behind a check for Kenny Omega.
Oh yes.
I think that would have killed AEW.
If I remember, the Bucks and Adam Page were on they were going to go to NXT until they realized they wanted more money and they weren't going to get.
Yeah.
And they decided
they were going to, and then their good friend Cody said, "Hey, I've got this idea for this big indie show." And then after that big indie show,
Tony Khan's like, "Hey, I can help." Yeah. Yeah.
You guys want to do this? I can do this.
Do what? Oh,
that's my impression of Tony Khan.
Oh, okay. I was confused for a second.
Do this? I can do this.
Yeah. I got the funds. We can start it.
You don't believe me? Hold on.
Allegedly.
Hey, Dad, do we really need to give a contract extension to this quarterback?
Oh, shit.
Okay. So I think we kind of hit AEW in the same vein. So we'll skip that. So we'll hit this one. If someone has never watched wrestling before, why should they watch your respective company over the other? What is the one thing that this company has that this one doesn't? And I'll start with Dan.
So we're looking at this. I've kind of already hit on it in that first question, but you've got your match quality. Match quality is better. Pay-per-views are, especially this year, leaps and bounds better. I watched Double or Nothing a couple weeks ago, and that's probably one of the best pay-per-views I've watched in a long time. I watched today's PLE, and I was honestly disgusted with some of it. Like, the King of the Ring tournament used to be such a big thing, and now it's the curtain jerker.
Yeah, I got my opinions on that.
Your Queen of the Ring match ruined before it started.
Liv Morgan?
Yes. Because Danhausen came out. He was doing his little, look at me, I'm Danhausen. And she comes out talking crap to him. And he's like, oh, now you're cursed. And, oh, thanks for ruining what's about to happen.
She shouldn't have messed with Danhausen.
Right. But if it was any other match, I would have been like, okay, cool, that's funny. But I feel like there's a certain level of respect that should go to that. Like, you're not going to go out and curse one of your biggest stars before the Rumble.
That would be kind of fun.
Like, oh, hey, let's go back to 98. Oh, Steve Austin, you're cursed. Oh, well, I thought for sure he was going to win.
That would have worked great in 99 when Vince threw him over.
Oh, gosh. That would have gotten so much more heat. But You've got your match quality, your quality of pay-per-views, roster depth. You look at AEW's roster, and there are so many people you can fit into the main event scene, which up until today, I argued that point against WWE, but I guess you can throw anybody in the main event scene. That's literally what happened. And then you've got variety. Like, you want to sit there and argue points for WWE that, oh, well, you've got this guy and this guy. What's the style of wrestling they wrestle?
That's the WWE style. I mean, that's
the WWE style. Exactly. But you go over to AEW, there isn't a AEW style because it mixes in your strong style. You've got your lucha libre. You've got your European styles, which WWE does have that in places.
But you're saying it not as a consistent basis.
It's not consistent.
Okay.
There is a the Brock Oba match at Mania was some of the stuff I expect out of WWE. Again, I liked that match. But I've seen that match time and time and time again with your big, sweaty, meaty men.
Mm.
I need meat. It worked because you had the new kid on the scene taking out the old guard. That was what made that match beautiful. It wasn't the style of the match. But AEW style, you can have that, let's send old Yeller off into the great beyond. They did it beautifully with Sting.
Yeah, I'll give them that.
Yeah.
Wasn't a big fan of Sting going through glass, but other than that, I thought they handled his a lot better than DX versus NWO in WrestleMania.
Yeah. I think we'll talk about glass a little bit later.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is the part where it's a little calm.
Oh yeah. Well, it's a prelude.
Well, as it happens, have you rebutted?
No, I was getting ready to.
Okay.
The reason I would say new people coming in, and because a lot of times they're bringing kids too. WWE is the more kid friendly. We'll agree on that. It's more kid friendly, obviously.
Right.
My problem is, and you said variety, I feel like because there's a big contrast because WWE's got a bad habit, which I'm not a big fan of giving you like 5 or 6 matches on a pay-per-view. AEW will give you like 12. Now, some people are like, well, what's the problem with that? It's like there's as much as I don't know how you'll disagree or if you will or not, but I feel like their style, even though they're combining a lot of things, there's a lot of things that they don't pace a lot of things. For example, they'll have a match, a Texas death match at the end of the night, but they'll have a big bloody, like blood and guts in the beginning. It's like, and then they'll have more people. The women bleed throughout the match too. And it's like, you got to pace yourself a little bit. I don't think they do a good job as far as pacing certain things, especially when they do their big hardcore matches. The other thing is they have an amazingly depth roster. The problem is a lot of times you'll just see some random Yahoo promoted on a Dynamite. It's like, who is that? And the only thing they do is like Excalibur will exposit a little bit about them during the show. It's like when you're a new fan, sometimes if you're coming in, you may not know who this person is. And if you skip a week or two and come back, it may be a completely different playing field. Whereas I feel like WWE, they don't do it well sometimes, but I feel like they're more consistent in keeping their characters in just like a straightforward pattern. You could skip maybe a week or two and come back and you won't have to necessarily catch up too much. They'll get you up to speed a little bit better.
So I almost feel like what you're saying here is AEW is boom, 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 where that doesn't translate well at times. And I'll give you that. Like there needs to be a level of consistency. But at the same time with WWE, I think you could say that there's a lot of times where they're beating a dead horse.
Yeah.
And that's where they do clash, where you have that. But for AEW's side of things, I think they want to pack as much into a show as they can. That way people feel like they're getting that value. Going back to talking about how the run times went with shows. Mania, like I said, you had 2 hours and 48 minutes of wrestling
Mm-hmm.
with almost 8 hours of show.
Mm-hmm.
AEW, on the other hand, at All In last year, they had
It's like a 6-hour show, wasn't it?
It was a 6-hour show with 3 hours and 48 minutes with 6 hours. So for Mania, you had 30% show. I'm sorry, you had 37% wrestling and the rest was show. Where with AEW All In, you had 63% wrestling with show. And again, if you're paying money to watch one of these things, I feel like you want the most bang for your buck. It doesn't always equal quality, but you're getting the most out of it. Going back to our McDonald's argument, I can get 15 cheeseburgers for $20, or I can go to Red Robin and get 1 cheeseburger for $20. Do I want quality or do I want quantity there?
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So there is some quality to be had with, hey, let's have 12 matches in 6 hours. But I feel like that gets diminished on the other side when you say, hey, let's have 5 matches each night, and each match lasts anywhere from 3 minutes to 10 minutes, with our big match being at least a half an hour, 45 minutes.
That's fair. It's like I feel like sometimes they're like they'll give you all the little small morsels here and there.
Back off the mic, you're peeking.
Oh, sorry. It's almost like they'll give you like little morsels here and then give you the one big thing at the end, which I'll say with AEW, even if I'm not the biggest fan of the stuff, they do offer you more of a value at a lesser price than WWE does. I feel like WWE tries to hang on their laurels sometimes. I mean, I can criticize that part, but sometimes I feel like when they do give you that one big punch, sometimes it feels like it's worth it. At least to me. I mean, I'm just saying it's just me, but. You know.
All right. Well, let's drop the gloves officially, and we're gonna get into the meat of the matter. Is CM Punk a locker room cancer or a locker room leader? And we'll start with Aaron.
He is a locker room leader. He is a cancer to the ones that do not like him. And there is a select few out there, young buck, that feel that he is a cancer. I think it's just in the perception of who's there, because there's plenty of people in that AEW locker room that said he wasn't a cancer. There's plenty of those that said he was. The ones that said he was kind of fell in a certain camp, depending on a certain conflict that happened in that company. So me personally, I don't think he was. I believe he played a part in a cancerous environment, but there was also another element that fed into that, but we'll get into that later. And I think he is a locker room leader because many wrestlers that were in AEW and still are have claimed that he was. But who am I?
All right, Dan, your point.
Stage 4, full blown, go get chemo now. Absolute freaking cancer. Not as only as a wrestler, but as a person.
Okay. I'm curious.
I will stand by that.
I'm curious.
First and foremost, let's take AEW out of the equation completely.
All right.
Let's go back all the way back to, as WWE likes to brag so much, 2014, when he left the company. Why did he leave the company? Because he didn't get his main event match.
It's part of it.
Daddy Trips didn't want to give him the main event. Daddy Vince didn't want to give him the main event. He said this on a podcast.
I know. I've listened to the same podcast.
Was full-blown crying about it. You know who else cried like that? Ryan Reeves. Ryback.
We're seriously not comparing.
I am 100%
CM Punk to Ryback.
comparing him to Ryback. Because I listened to that podcast and he was doing the same arguments that Ryback was giving. Oh, Triple H just doesn't respect me. Vince just doesn't respect me. I'm 100% capable of being in the main event of WrestleMania. Dude, shut up. You just got a match with Taker at Mania. In some instances, that's bigger than a main event at WrestleMania.
Oh, for sure. Oh, yeah.
You want to talk about 5-star matches? Shawn Michaels and Taker, 25.
Oh, without a doubt.
Shawn Michaels and Taker at 26. Both of those matches were absolute bangers. Were they the quote-unquote main event? No.
Well, 26 technically was.
26 technically was, yes. But Punk had that opportunity. Even if you were going out on your back, dude, you got to wrestle Taker at Mania.
Well, he said that when he pitched himself to be in the Rock Cena sequel match at 29, he said wouldn't care if it was elimination. If he got eliminated first, he just wanted to be in the main event.
He just wanted to be in the main event. But it wasn't time for him to be in the main event. Mind you, do I think Rock should have been there? No. But I also don't think Punk should have been there. They could have built that, and he could have sat back and let the process take place. He was hot. Vince knew he was hot. Trips knew he was hot. But instead of just letting the process play out, he said, no, I'm going to whine. I'm going to complain about it. And then he got a FedEx on his wedding day.
Well, I can understand him being a little peeved at that. I mean, I listened to the same thing you did. Do I think that griping about not being in the main event, is that something that you should hang your head on? Not necessarily. I don't think so. I think for a while he hinged a lot of his anger on that. But in the same sense, for one, he was dealing with a lot of personal health issues that weren't getting corrected. There's a lot of things that were brewing. He didn't have a good relationship with Triple H, and the fact that I feel like he had a lot of pride in himself. So I can't fault him for having pride in himself.
And that's why he pooped his pants on the mat.
What?
What?
What? You'll hear that in post-production.
Okay. For a guy who had a lot of pride in himself, like he felt like he wanted to be in the main event. Whether or not he was complaining about it or not, that we can argue that. But him and Triple H, he didn't have a good relationship with him. So when it was presented to him, oh, you're going to have this match with Triple H, that bitter part of him was like, he told Triple H, he said, you need the match with me. I don't need the match with you. That was his quote. The crying thing, I mean, that's obviously how some people might perceive it. To me, I looked at it as he's very passionate about it. He views himself as being a main event guy. A lot of the times these modern guys are just there just to get a paycheck, just there to do their moves. He felt like, to me, always he's got like an old school spirit. This is something that old school wrestlers would do. They want their spot and they're going to put their claim on it.
And that's why I felt like he didn't deserve to whine in that instance. He was trying to act like Hogan. He was trying to act like Bret Hart in that instance. But it goes so much deeper than that, Aaron. Beyond that particular time when he left. After he left, where did he go?
He went to UFC.
UFC. What happened in UFC? He didn't get to play that card.
No.
He got the hell beat out of him. And then he went away. He did comics. One of the few things I actually like from the man is his comic books. And he did a couple decent movies. One of them was a pretty banger horror movie.
I never got the chance to check out any of his movies.
The one, I can't remember the name of it.
I didn't know they existed.
Yes.
Yeah, he's done a few movies.
He's like in a house, and I don't know if he cheats on his wife or something. It's been a minute. But there winds up being some kind of demon in the attic, and it's actually decent.
Big guy demon.
But
Smash reference.
Then you look at the stuff with Colt Cabana. Colt Cabana was one of his best friends.
Yes.
And then he gets off blabbing, oh, well, he shares a bank account with his mom. Okay. He shares a bank account with his mom. It's probably his account, and his mom probably
Not the
uses his
greatest,
money.
not the greatest insult.
Right. But then it keeps going and going. And then he finally gets his grand re-entry into wrestling at AEW. Tony Khan makes this big deal for him, which, yeah, it was good for AEW too at the time. Because that put eyes on AEW. Oh my gosh, this guy that we've been chanting about for the last however many years is finally back. And they made sure to do it in Chicago. But then he had to keep going. Oh, I want to make sure I've got the title. Tony made sure to put the title on him.
Was that more, you think that was more of a Punk thing or a Tony thing?
100% Punk.
Because I feel like Tony, and I'm use this word as a mark, I feel like Tony is a big fan of Punk, and I feel like part of it what he wanted to placate. I'm sure Punk didn't turn it down. I don't think it was 100% Tony put the belt on me. I don't think it was that. I think
Tony as a businessman, I 100% think that it was Punk's, hey, I want the belt.
fair enough.
Because from the outside looking in, Punk didn't need the belt.
No, he actually got it a lot earlier than I thought he would.
Yeah. A hell of a lot earlier than I thought he would. I didn't think he'd ever get it. Because there was no point for him to get it. That belt isn't there for your nostalgia pop. Again, Hogan getting the TNA title.
Well, I feel like they wanted, because they have obviously their homegrown stars, but I feel like with Jericho, the reason I feel like Jericho needed the belt was they were trying to establish AEW at the time, and he was their biggest name at the time.
Right.
Put it on there. So I felt like the reason Punk, if they're investing in him to be this big acquisition, I figured it was going to happen at some point. You got to put the belt on him. Like I said, it happened quicker than I thought it would, but I figured it was inevitably going to happen.
Right.
But I don't necessarily feel like it was 100%. Come on, boss, give me the belt.
I feel like that was something that was written into his contract. A lot of them do that.
It could very well be. We'll never know. We'll never see the contract. But
Right. Well, there might be a way.
I mean, Tony's good with his what's that?
NDAs.
NDAs. So there's a lot of things that are kept very
Well,
quiet.
that's why I say there might be a way, because Tony's good with that. How good is TKO with that? Because I was getting to that part of it later, but he didn't need the belt in WWE either when he came back. But they put it on him. He didn't need to be in that picture at all. They could have given him his main event at WrestleMania like he wanted, and he could have rode off into the sunset.
I think he didn't. I think he needed at least one.
No.
He's coming.
At his age, absolutely not.
Well, they put it on a lot of older guys. They put it on Bob Backlund.
Yes.
They could put it on Bob
Yes.
Backlund. The Punk.
I
can get one
disagree with them putting it on Bob Backlund when they did.
Well, if it wasn't for Bob Backlund winning, we wouldn't have got Diesel power. But
You're not helping your case.
oh, come on, he's not a big fan of Kev.
Hey, I'm okay with Kevin. Diesel, on the other hand, I was actually more of a fan of fake Diesel than I was Diesel.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I love Diesel. Diesel was like one of my first core memories.
Just throwing this out there. Sorry to break it up from the CM Punk argument here, but how long did Diesel last versus how long did fake Diesel last?
Are you the gimmick or the person?
The person.
Oh, well, obviously Glenn Jacobs lasted way longer.
One of them is currently in his basement complaining about politics. The other one's the mayor of Knox County, Tennessee.
That's fair.
I would say fake Diesel had the more successful eventual career.
I don't know. It looks like he's in his office, not his basement. But yeah.
Oh, we're talking about Kevin.
Yeah.
He could have an office, a basement office. You never
Well
know.
lit.
I'm not against having an office basement.
Yeah.
But going back to Punk, with, again, you had that all set up for him in AEW, and then Brawl out. Oh, hey, I'm going to complain that somebody said something wrong on the mic. You just got the biggest title in the company, man. You are now the face of that company, and you're going to take a dump on it?
Well, for one thing, he didn't have the belt very long. Unfortunately, he got injured.
Right.
Number two, was Adam Page justified in doing what he did? Because I always say this when I talk to people about it. The brawl out, I don't believe the brawl out would have happened if Adam Page didn't go into business for himself.
100%. But Adam Page, being the younger guy, could have been disciplined behind the scenes.
But he wasn't.
He wasn't. He was disciplined in front of God and everybody by somebody who shouldn't have been the one doing the discipline. Punk wanted to step into that locker room leader role so bad from what he's seen from locker room leaders in the past, like Taker, who could have very easily have handled that much better than Punk did.
But there wasn't one, unfortunately.
No. Well, there were, but...
How do you placate Punk as the judge? He doesn't drink.
Oh, the wrestler score. Get him some.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's why we have a moderator.
You give him a bunch of that seltzer water he was drinking at the brawl.
Yeah. But no, it's... Hangman could have been handled much, much differently than he was. Punk didn't have to go to the media scrum and do what he did. Punk didn't have to turn around and start crap with pretty much half of the locker room.
That's fair. I can understand that. My only thing I feel like is they all they did was the complaining about what kind of guy he was backstage and all the things. Oh, these things will set him off, but they did everything they knew how to set him off, and they still did it. Like I said, that started the downward hill to brawl out was Hangman doing that. Whether he felt justified or not, and my biggest takeaway was everybody's like, oh, he's doing that for Cole Cabana because Punk got Cole Cabana signed on off TV. Cole Cabana wasn't on TV before Punk even signed with the company. That was my biggest thing, was they were using all that stuff to placate. Maybe once a month, maybe?
It was a few times, and he was doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes with the Bucks YouTube show.
Right, but like I never saw any correlation with Punk showing up to Colt Cabana's not being featured at all, which he wasn't being featured very much. Like he was in a Dark Order segment or whatever, but like I felt like the juxtaposed to everyone using the crutch. Oh, that's the reason Hangman. That's why Punk deserved what Hangman did to him. And when Punk came out and called Hangman out for that match, that obviously wasn't going to happen. Where he came out to the ring, was that petty? Yeah, but I feel like this is a guy who obviously knew he's not having allies in this place. He's going to crash out, and they should have expected, and not saying like he should, what he 100% did. The brawl out thing was a little bit uncalled for. I can't deny that, but I can't also blame the man either. Nobody was helping him.
At the end of the day, though, him as the veteran should have known better. Even if you have these young guys poking at you, as the veteran, you should understand this is not where you became a veteran. This is a new company. This isn't WWE. You're not going to be the Undertaker for AEW. Even then, even after all that, Tony Khan still tries to play nice with him. He gives him his own freaking show.
Yeah, look how that turned out.
Exactly.
Cry me a river.
He gave him his own freaking show, and then he has it out with Jack Perry.
Yeah, because Jack Perry don't know how to play ball.
Right. Should Jack Perry have handled that better? Yes. I will not deny that. But, again, Punk, the veteran, Punk, the guy that's trying to be the locker room leader, should have handled it significantly better. He should have been like, really, kid? You're really going to go out there and use real glass after I tell you, hey, that's a stupid idea? But no, he decides to freaking cold cock him.
Well, face palm him.
Face palm him, whatever. open hand, I don't care. Don't lay your hands on the kid. Educate him. Don't fight him. And then it rolls over into, oh crap, we're beating each other up on Tony Khan's desk.
I feared for my life.
I would like to note that I don't believe that problem would have happened if there was a stronger, more authoritative person at the top. Tony Khan didn't want to weigh in any way and that let that problem fester and persist.
Absolutely. I will agree with that. But he let it happen because he was afraid of losing Punk. Because he knew Punk could have been a golden goose for him.
He's probably also very afraid of losing the Elite too.
100%.
Because they're barring Kenny Omega. I don't think Punk and the Bucks and Adam Page could coexist in the same company without any conflict brewing.
No. And that's why he tried to alleviate those conflicts with
The two
split,
shows.
which it could have very well have worked.
Yep.
But Punk's ego got the best of him at the end of the day. And what did he do? After he got his release, he went to the place that he complained and whined and griped about for years. Because, oh, hey, it's going to be really cool to be petty and go back to WWE and ruin AEW because guess what? I'm here now. Look at me.
Yeah, there was some pettiness in that decision. I agree, but in the same sense, it's like kind of what he says. Where are these issues at you're hearing now? Like it's all about who's in charge, because we're not hearing anything about backstage fights or anything that's going on right now. My thing is Tony Khan, which I think, based on not even knowing the guy, he's probably one of the nicest guys on the planet. I think he's too nice to be a promoter because he wants to please everybody. He can't please everybody. And that's what leads to this problem. Does Punk's got an ego? Oh, 150% has an ego. I think it's my opinion, earned ego. But when it comes to the stuff like with the Hangman Page and all that stuff, him trying to placate everything, like I said earlier, there were so many things that could have been prevented. Like they knew, obviously, the guys working in there. Punk you're like walking on eggshells around him. You got to be careful. But why directly walk on the eggshells? Couldn't you sweep the eggshells away? I feel like a lot of things, and not saying Punk had no fault in it, but I feel like if the other side didn't poke the bear wouldn't have got pissed.
Here's the thing, though. The question was, is he a leader or is he a cancer? At the end of the day, you shouldn't have to walk on eggshells with a leader. If someone is a locker room cancer, you're going to be tiptoeing around them. You're going to be trying to find reasons not to piss them off. A locker room leader has your respect regardless. You go up and ask any WWE superstar, why was Taker such a good leader? And it won't be because, well, we played nice with him. We had to walk on eggshells with him. It was, he knew how to command a locker room. He had earned that right to command the WWE locker room. CM Punk comes in, acts like he's going to be the guy in that locker room when you already have several the guys, which, again, not Punk's fault. That's a fault of AEW. I will give them that. But at the end of the day, Punk was the cancer in the situation. Plain and simple.
I think what I'll say is, I think it's just based on the environment. I think he's a better leader in WWE than in AEW. I don't necessarily think he was the cancer because, like I said, I felt like he was not the sole cancer, but he was part of what fed into the cancerous situation. But I think he's better fit for the WWE locker room as that leader because you don't hear anything about the problems now. All these people can go to Punk. He's not necessarily, he's the established veteran now. In AEW, you still had people like Will Hobbs, Ricky Saints, all those people that had nothing but nice things to say about him. That's why I said it just depends on who's back there, their perception of him, because it wasn't all bad with everybody in that locker room. So it's all about the perspective, I think.
So the two wrestlers you just brought up, who were they again?
Ricky Saints and Powerhouse Hobbs.
Where are they at?
They're in WWE right now.
They're in WWE.
But they said this before they got there. They were still in AEW when they
Yes,
said.
they
Well,
were.
before we wander too far, I do want to take this back just a hair.
Okay.
Because we did touch on the next subject, which is, was Punk justified in the infamous media scrum?
Well, I think we already covered.
Yeah, I feel like we.
Fair
we,
enough.
we
Okay, then let's see here. If Punk never returned to wrestling, would AEW be better off or as successful?
Financially wise or creative wise, as it doesn't. I mean,
Either in any way.
I think financially wise, yes, they would have. It wasn't. It would have happened, but he gave him their first $1 million gate. Him and Pangman, financially. I mean, like you said, they created a new show for him. I don't know what says David Zaslav, whoever runs Warner Brothers, called him One Bill Phil. Like he was, whether you liked him or not, Punk was a money generator. Now, creatively, some people probably argue more that maybe it would have been better off without him. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a big watcher of AEW, but I was locked into him and MJF's feud. I thought that stuff was really good TV. The dog collar match was brutal.
great.
So it's, for me, I feel like the stuff he did, I enjoyed, but like I said, I'm a fan of him. If you're not a fan of him, you're probably not going to enjoy it as much.
So I'm one, as much as I do not like CM Punk, he was good for AEW at that very start point. What would have been great for Punk, what would have been great for AEW, is if his contract would have been 6 months to a year.
Probably.
A small, quick pop. He comes in Chicago, gets a huge pop, makes his money, gets a little shine on AEW. That's what would have been best for AEW there. So yeah, in the short term, 100% Punk should have been in AEW. Long term, his tenure there should have ended much, much sooner, and Tony should not have catered to him the way he did. There should have been ground rules laid out right from the beginning. And I've got a theory on that too when he came in. It was one of the worst kept secrets in the industry.
Yeah.
What happened just 3 weeks prior to that?
God, I'm old.
Another big name now WWE guy left.
Big
Cody.
Did he leave he didn't leave in 2021. He left in like early 2022.
Cody?
Yeah, because he left like in December or January, because that's when the Rumble rumors were happening, and then he ended up showing up at WrestleMania that year. I don't think his contract didn't end until like late or 2021, early 2022, because he had that December match with Sammy Guevara. They had the title unification ladder match.
He officially left AEW in February of 2022.
Okay. And Punk showed up when?
It was August of 2021.
August 20.
Because I remember because it was like a week or so before my wedding.
Oh, there you go. Well, that's a pretty good brain then. But I remember there was writing on the wall for Cody leaving.
Oh yeah, I mean
a lot of it I feel was focused around Punk.
Well,
because he knew how Punk was when he started in WWE, when Cody started in WWE.
Well, that's but my question with that, because he's gone on record and saying that they tried to get Punk when they started AEW. So obviously, I mean, he obviously kind of knew what he was getting.
Right. I feel like if Cody would have been there, it would have been a better situation for AEW.
Oh yeah. I feel like
Cody would have been that one that would have been able to ring him in.
Well, at least smooth, like, hey guys, let's do business here.
Yes. And the point I'm trying to make with this is, I think Cody left at the wrong time for AEW. Obviously, he left at the perfect time for himself.
Yeah.
If Cody would have been there, I think that a lot of the problems with Punk wouldn't have ever happened.
I can see that. I can agree with you on that.
I think he would have been the perfect middleman between the two
camps. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I have no issues with that.
But at the end of the day, Punk outstayed his welcome, in my opinion. I don't think he should have gotten the belt.
Fair enough.
I don't think he should have had his own show.
Fair enough. Which sucks now because, when Collision happened, we went to a Collision that in that era he was still there, and
It was his last match, actually.
it was was it his last Collision?
Yeah, remember he was the Conquistador.
He was the Golden Vampire. Yeah. Because he came out and attacked Joe because he was wrestling as the Golden Vampire. It was a gold Conquistador outfit, but he had the vampire fangs.
Oh, I didn't see those.
Because when that happened, everybody was like, "Oh, they're alluding to Edge because Edge was a Conquistador and it was like a vampire thing."
Yeah.
But like I felt like obviously Collision was made for Punk, and look at Collision now. I mean, they're just now kind of getting back into it. There was a while where Collision was nobody was watching it.
No, and I'll even give you that. Honestly, though, I think it's because of when it's on.
Probably.
There's a big issue there. Honestly,
Is Saturday not all right for fighting?
Well,
yes, and that's the problem. Saturday is perfect for fighting on a big scale.
Yeah.
That's why you don't see UFC matches every single week.
yeah. It also sucks too because Saturdays are the nights that they do WWE does most of their pay-per-views.
Yes.
So it hurts. It hurts whatever Collision tries to do.
Yeah.
I think it would do better if it was on a weekday, like a Thursday or a
Thursday would be great. I don't think they should try to go head to head, at least with Raw or SmackDown. But at the end of the day, I think Collision would benefit from being on a different day.
I think so too. Yeah. Plus, people they're not going to stay home and watch, Collision. They'll stay home for like a pay-per-view. But if it's like a regular show, we'll just YouTube that or we'll just TiVo that because we're out on the weekend partying or whatever.
All right. So, one more question on Punk, and then we're going to go to the next round. Does CM Punk deserve to be considered one of the greatest talkers in wrestling history? Is he one, per se?
Who's going to go first?
Daniel.
No.
Wow.
He has one talking claim to fame. And we already talked about it. The pipe bomb. Outside of the pipe bomb, look, let's go before the pipe bomb.
Mm-hmm.
How many banger promos did he have?
Oh, go look at his stuff in Ring of Honor. Go look at his stuff in TNA.
WWE.
Oh, yeah.
How many banger promos did he have? Not a whole lot.
They started getting good when when the Straight Edge Society stuff happened. That's when they started getting really good.
Mm-hmm.
So end of 2009 to 2009 into 2010 is where I really thought he picked it up. I really did. I liked his stuff when he first started in ECW, where he was doing the cryptic Straight Edge stuff when he first got into there.
Here's the thing about his time in ECW, and y'all hinted on the ECW stuff last week as well. He was mid to pretty decent as a speaker there, but he shined because he was surrounded by crap.
I don't know. I thought Elijah Burke was not too bad.
I liked Elijah Burke and Kevin Thorne.
Well,
I liked Ariel.
Well, yeah, I think everybody that's one thing we'll agree on here today is Ariel.
I want someone to hit us up in the comments. I liked the zombie.
There's probably one guy.
Hey,
Oh man, the zombie was underrated, man.
personally, I liked the zombie match because I loved Sandman.
The
And
spectacle of the dust being knocked off of him is
I
burnt in my brain.
love that Sandman's last match was against the Invisible Man.
Somewhere Jim
anyway,
Cornette's having a coronary.
when we have our old school debate, I have so much fire for Cornette. But with Punk speaking, again, the early ECW stuff, again, he was surrounded by crap. You go back and look at Ring of Honor, a lot of those guys were very good talkers. I'll give him that. But he doesn't have one thing that stands out.
I thought the Raven, his promo on Raven was really was pretty good enough to where they threw a callback to it when he was feuding with MJF.
Yes.
To fight the monster, you have to be one of the monsters of the world. I loved that promo. He did cut that on Raven, and then he cut that on MJF.
Yeah. Well, and that was one of the things with the MJF one, was they played his greatest hits. And I honestly feel in those moments, they weren't earth-shattering promos. Again, going through his history, he had one earth-shattering promo. When you look at your best talkers of all time, though, The Rock, you can pick me a Monday night. He was giving an earth-shattering promo.
I don't necessarily think all of his were earth-shattering.
Not all of them.
The Rock was great at attention grabbing, and The Rock could keep the mic, people's attention on the mic. I think that's why I like Punk so much, is because when he speaks, I listen. I feel like a lot of people feel that way. Not necessarily everybody, but I feel like Punk is great at commanding people on the microphone. And he's a great storyteller on the microphone too. When he gets into that stuff, I feel it. The promos he cut, like on TKO this year, which I thought were funny, the Pat McAfee, that I was eating out of the hands. That, like, he pops me a lot.
And that's where I differ there. The TKO, the Pat McAfee ones, I feel like he's trying to go back to his greatest hit, which was that pipe bomb. Oh, here he is. He's talking bad about the hand that feeds again. Oh, he's being edgy. The same edgy guy that got on Twitter and bashed the company for getting in with Saudi Arabia. The same guy that crapped on Triple H all this time, and now they're best friends. The same guy that gave that pipe bomb and has tried to regurgitate it 3 times that I can think of right offhand.
I mean, if it sells, right? I don't agree that everything he says is derived from the pipe bomb. He's cut a lot of great, like, his stuff when he worked with Finn Balor. He didn't have to put any of that stuff with pipe. I love the story he was telling with him about the Judgment Day. Do you need him? I think he can do a lot of great stuff without having to pipe bomb anybody. The Triple H thing, it's like, yeah, that you look at that as hypocritical, but it's like, are people not allowed to change their mind? And then the Saudi Arabia thing, I was surprised. I never thought he would ever go there, because given what he said about it. But I was glad that he was able to, I guess he changed his thought of it. I mean, there's that clip where he apologized to the Saudi fan.
He changed his thought about it because TKO gave him a check with a 1 and a bunch of zeros behind it.
I don't know. Sami Zayn turned him down the first year or two. So, I mean, it's like...
We want to argue about Sami Zayn right now after what happened today, Aaron?
I'm just saying, I don't honestly necessarily think that, like, I think people have the right to change their opinion. And it doesn't always have to come with some sinister motive behind it.
I feel like his does, though.
I mean, I'll respectfully disagree, but that's okay.
100% people can change their opinions, okay? When all of this first started, before AEW was AEW, when they were planning on bringing it to the forefront, I was against it. I was like, oh, hey, they're going to do this thing. But when Kenny Omega debuts at the Royal Rumble, I'm going to have nothing to do with it because my favorite wrestler is going to be in WWE. And then he said, nah, just kidding. I'm going to join my buddies.
Yeah.
I changed my opinion in that moment.
Gotcha.
Because my favorite wrestler was going to that company.
That's fair enough.
On the flip side with Punk, though, it was driven by money. He didn't go to Saudi Arabia out of the kindness of his heart, out of,
I'm sure the money was great. I'm sure the money was great.
Like, Saudi Arabia, a lot of the things that happens over there are things he openly speaks out against.
Mm-hmm.
He's all about women's rights. He's all about gay rights. You take...
Oh, yeah. You're not going to have much of that over there.
No. I mean, the women had to wear their bodysuits today.
Oh, yeah.
Which a lot of times confuses me because they do the underwear thing on the outside of the bodysuit.
Yeah. They still show off their curves. So
Right. And but with Punk, again,
I'll say it doesn't paint him in a great light when he does that.
Right.
I can admit that.
Yeah. I feel like he would be a better speaker if he wasn't so hypocritical. And again, maybe episode 60, I feel like Hart did the same thing.
No.
I don't know. Goldberg would, though.
Fair enough.
All right. We're going to move on to the next round, ladies and gentlemen, which is we're going to go back to some WWE versus AEW, but in a slightly different manner. We're going to evaluate both rosters as a whole, and then we're going to dive into it a little bit.
Okay.
So, which company has the stronger roster right now, Aaron?
Well, we kind of hit on that head earlier. As far as the athletic, high-flying, like highlight reel match stuff.
We touched on each company's strengths, but we didn't say which company had the stronger roster.
Star power wise, WWE without 100%. I mean, I don't say anybody can argue that. You look at household names, star power. Look at freaking Danhausen. He's now in the NBA like discussions now.
Don't even get me started on that. That's a whole other bag of worms that will drive me crazy because I'm a Celtics fan.
No, just the star power. I think, granted, in the AEW fan universe, those are big stars. Like, I think Will Ospreay's a big star. I don't think if you ask a random fan on the street, a random person, who have you heard, Roman Reigns or Will Ospreay? You're going to hear more people talk about Roman Reigns. So I think WWE has them on the star power. If you want to talk about the athletic stuff, obviously AEW is going to have the more athletic, more highlight reel style performers.
Before I get into the star power thing, define star power.
Household name, marquee value, sells the tickets. Like, you could ask any yahoo off the street. Like I mentioned, the Roman Reigns Will Ospreay thing. How many more people are going to know Will Ospreay more than Roman Reigns? I doubt there's going to be. Roman's going to be well known more. So
Would you like the actual definition of star power?
Sure.
The unique magnetic charisma, credibility, or public appeal that a famous person naturally possesses.
So that one aspect of it, what I'm shooting for is the public appeal. Not saying that nobody in AEW has charisma. Oh my gosh, there's charismatic guys all over that place. Look at MJF. He's actually getting very high as far as star power, in my opinion, because he's branching out. He was in Happy Gilmore 2. Not the greatest movie in the world.
I enjoyed it.
I mean, it was okay, but it wasn't nowhere near as great as the first one.
Nikki.
And no, I was not in Happy Gilmore 2.
Great.
I just want to set the record straight. I was not in Happy Gilmore 2. A lot of people think I was. I did not play for Maxi Golf. Sorry.
So
if he did, he'd have to play with his tits.
When you talk about star power and you say household names, you have household names in Dry Ridge, Kentucky. You have household names, and I'd even go as far as saying New York City. What about, I don't know, Osaka, Japan?
You don't think people know Roman Reigns in Osaka, Japan?
Who's a bigger name in Osaka?
So his argument is...
Oh, so he's like
it
saying...
could be depending on the market you're in.
Exactly.
So I would say if you're looking at the New Japan wrestling side of it, they probably will know Will Ospreay more than
100%.
Roman Reigns.
Worldwide, granted, there is something to be said with WWE and their worldwide appeal, but you have Will Ospreay, who has wrestled in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
He has wrestled in, I don't know the continent name, Australia. You've had him wrestle in Asia,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously North America. North America, yeah, he's not going to be as big of a name as... I wouldn't say Roman. I would say he's not going to be as big of a name as maybe John Cena.
Oh no, yeah.
But you go overseas and you bring up Roman Reigns or Will Ospreay. There's a reason they sold out Wembley. There's a reason they will very likely sell out Wembley this year.
With Will Ospreay for sure, especially if they do what they're supposed to do for All In this year, I would say that they would.
Yeah. Then you look at Omega and Okada. Again, over here, not that big. But you go to Japan and they are royalty over there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, especially Okada. They probably...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Okada is arguably the best wrestler in the world right now. And that's not just because he's in AEW.
No, I understand.
That is...
Although I thought his stuff before AEW, and it's not just because of AEW, but I thought his stuff before AEW was a lot better. I don't know.
Absolutely. And I will give you that.
The Rainmaker.
Oh, right. Boring. You'll get that reference.
But they have arguably the biggest star in the world with Okada. Because, again, in the United States, people might be like, oh, it's just some Japanese guy. But you go to Japan, oh my gosh, it's Okada. Oh my gosh, you go over to Germany. I would argue they probably know him better there than Roman.
I mean, I could probably see that. My question would be, why not present him at that level in the States? If he's working for an American company.
Well, I would like to chime in the fact that AEW doesn't have the Okada that is famous in Japan. Or that is, made his living as a global superstar. They have a broken down shell of what Okada is now.
So there's a thing on YouTube where they recount the history of things in New Japan. Because I had this big kick where I was watching all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And they did one in Okada. And that dude was a megastar over there. And my question is like, they're not... I don't know whether because he might be older. I don't know. I don't know how Tony views him. I'm sure Tony really values him. But when he comes over and his biggest gimmick for a while was bitch. It's like, to me, it's night and day. And I'm like, why not you capitalize on it here? And WWE's bad at that too. They've done that plenty of times. But when it comes to Okada, they should have made him a lot bigger. That his match with Kenny at All In last year, it was great that they're bringing that match. But I feel like if Okada had been positioned a lot better and made much more of a megastar, that match would have been a lot bigger of a spectacle. I feel like.
So with Okada, that's one of the reasons why I argue for AEW in this sense. The reason this version of Okada is different than New Japan Okada, freedom. Tony is pretty much letting Okada do whatever he wants. He's saying, you have the freedom to play this cocky, bullheaded character that you want to play. Where in Japan, he had to hold a certain standard because of how much respect he was given over there. He is royalty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he has to present himself as such for the people of Japan. Over here in America, he can just be that really popular in Japan Japanese guy that had some really banger matches with Kenny Omega. He doesn't have to be the Rainmaker over here. That's why I look at AEW in this sense and say I'm giving them the nod because they have that freedom. Tony, yeah, he gives his input, but a lot of these guys are allowed to do with whatever they want.
Is that a problem, though? Do you think?
It can be a double-edged sword. It can 100% be a double-edged sword. Danhausen's a perfect example. Danhausen could have done the same thing in AEW, but he didn't have the resources and he didn't have the brains to back him up. With TKO, he has resources and he has think tanks like, Oh, hey, do this thing. Oh, we seen Sven Gulli do this thing one time. You should do it because that's your character here. Now he's getting to do stuff with the Knicks. He's
I don't know anything about basketball too much, so I don't have a dog in
Big
that fight.
market. It's
I don't have a dog in.
large market.
Don't have a dog in that fight.
a lot of people got hurt this year, and I'll leave it at that. But Danhausen has more of an opportunity with WWE than he ever did with AEW because of that freedom aspect. Now, guys who know how to use that freedom properly in AEW, that's why they thrive. Mox, I'm going to bring him up later, but Mox is a completely different monster than Dean Ambrose.
Oh, 100%.
Dean Ambrose was a dog with a collar on.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Khan said, get that collar off, do what you need to do.
And yeah, I agree with that. I just think sometimes maybe reeling in a little bit might help in certain aspects of it.
With your younger talent.
Yeah, like because like look at a great example, WCW. Look what happened there.
Yeah.
So there has to be a perfect balance of being able to kind of keep them reined in, but also giving them some wiggle room. And that's where a lot of the creative stuff goes. I mean, I feel like Okada needs to be a little bit more serious. And then I know this is a side tangent. He needs to get out of the Don Callis family. I'll go on a rant about that some other day. Because I feel like he doesn't need to be lumped in a group. He needs to be on his own. He's going to need a mouthpiece, obviously. I'm not very sure how well his English is, but I would love to see him do something else. Well, yeah.
I honestly think with him being in the Don Callis family, that was a setup for him and Takeshita.
Well, yeah, that's the only.
And Takeshita is building up to being that guy.
And I think they've done a better job with him than Okada, though. I think
they absolutely have, and that's the point.
That's kind of what I wanted to see happen with Okada, is what they've done with Takeshita.
Okada has done his job. That's how he sees it. He's done what he needs to do. He earned his accolades over in Japan. Now he wants to build these younger wrestlers. And he has that opportunity with AEW. If we were over in WWE with all this, Okada would be playing his greatest hits right now. Or jobbing out to a guy that should have been at the top 10 years ago.
He'd be losing to Jey Uso.
Right.
God, could you imagine the ICW meltdown? Or IWC? Oh, God.
Well, here's a bit of a curveball. Which company is better at creating new stars? Daniel, you go first.
With new stars, I'm still going to go with AEW on this. Creating, they do better. Not necessarily developing. They're able to go through Ring of Honor, yes. But Ring of Honor doesn't have the same appeal as the Performance Center into NXT. I feel like there needs to be a minor league for these companies. Ring of Honor is not that for AEW. But when they create a new star, they create a star. MJF.
Oh, yeah.
Darby Allin.
Mm-hmm.
People will argue that Darby shouldn't have had the title, but
I think he should have. I just think he needed to stick to it and not go climb a mountain.
Yes. Again, that's where some of that freedom needs to be reined in. Jack Perry has so much potential, but he's one that they need to have Luchasaurus on him more.
That's when he was at his peak, was the Jurassic Express.
Yes, and that's why they've kind of gone back to that.
Yeah.
He's now Jungle Jack Perry.
which I was fascinated with his scapegoat gimmick there for a little bit, and then
it was neat,
and it didn't really go anywhere though.
Exactly, because he didn't know where to go with it because he didn't have a mentor.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they put him back with Luchasaurus. And that's where I feel like they kind of fumble at times with their younger talent, where a WWE is able to develop that talent.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they don't always utilize that talent.
No.
Karrion Kross should be one of the biggest names in that company right now.
100%. I agree.
But he's gone again.
And then they replaced him with Alistair and Zelina.
And they're now there.
Yeah.
That was a big, oh man. But
well, and there's an argument to be had with these guys that keep jumping back and forth. Well, I was about to. Andrade is 100% one of them. He cried when he was in WWE because he wasn't getting his chance. And he went to AEW. And then he didn't get a shot there, so he cried. And then he went back to WWE. And now he's back in AEW.
Tearing his pants
being
off.
A glorified OnlyFans model with a six-pack.
Which I kind of unironically kind of dig a little bit. I don't know. He just seems like, I don't know, he doesn't care.
And I think that's what a lot of these guys need to do that have been in it for a while is just don't care.
Yeah.
Get into it. Don't care. Do your thing. And then maybe, just maybe, you'll get the rub. But when it comes to younger guys, when AEW hits, they hit.
MJF's a great example.
Perfect example.
He's like, him and Darby are two big homegrown stars there.
Yeah.
I'd also like to throw an asterisk on the Outrunners. I believe they're probably AEW's brightest up.
I love the Outrunners.
Yes.
Turbo Floyd and
Magnum something.
Yeah.
Well, they're gimmick ripoffs of guys from the 80s.
That's why I love it.
It's perfect.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah, and it works with that them being the good guys versus the FTR as the bad guys. They have those old school gimmicks going on.
And then you got Dalton Castle. It weirdly works.
Is he still with the boys, or did the boys?
No, the boys have been long gone.
I know. I know. Well, what I meant is like I knew two of them were they're gone. I didn't know if the rest of them were still there or how many.
Well, the rest of them were just kind of there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they were like the bunny party guys.
Adam Rose's party bus. Yeah.
That they were just there for that, but there were two main boys, and
they left on unceremonious terms. Yeah.
But Dalton Castle's another example of that. Granted, he's not necessarily AEW grown, but he's one that's being given that opportunity through AEW.
Yes.
The thing with WWE, I don't necessarily think they. What I should rephrase this. They're very great at utilizing a talent and making them a big star, whether that be for a moment in time. For example, there was a time where Jey Uso was the biggest guy in the company. We were there. We watched everybody yeet at the Royal Rumble.
Pat McAfee was... Yep.
Then you take a guy like Obafemi. Obafemi I still think he's one of the hottest names right now, given the way they've handled it. There's a lot of things that they haven't done right. I still have a gripe with how they've handled Shinsuke Nakamura in the past. That one still stings. But I do think they're very good at revitalizing and putting more of an upward trajectory on certain things. They don't always create stars, but they enhance people into stardom, I think. I think that they're very good at that.
The only issue at this point with them making stars, they're only making stars. The superstar aspect is being held back from so many because they want to keep going back to the same old thing over and over and over. Roman has done a great job as one of the faces of the company. Cody, I feel like he politicked his way into it. but there are guys being held back because of that. And that's actually, I think, coming up in our line of questioning here in a minute.
Well, they gave Sami Zayn the robe.
Yeah, again, 10 years after they should have. He came in at the end of the Cena era into the beginning of the Roman era.
What if there was a reason for the Sammy thing other than the hometown pop? What if Kevin Owens is coming back sooner than we think, and maybe they're setting up a big Kevin Owens thing?
As cool as and good as that match would be, I think that horse has been beaten to death too many times as well.
Just saying.
So yeah, it'll probably happen.
Yeah,
With WWE,
which is weird because Kevin left as a despised heel. So the only way that could work, I'm using air quotes here. Kevin comes back as a babyface. Sammy's fully turned into an obnoxious heel. That's it. But again,
he's going to fail as champion. He's going to get booed. Kevin will come in and immediately get cheered.
Yeah.
So Kevin has turned into a middle ground babyface heel for me.
Good tweener.
A tweener, if you will. A category I call the Orton.
Yeah.
Randy Orton, it doesn't matter what he's playing. He's good.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's Kevin Owens at this point now, too. He has done so well with both. It doesn't matter if he's the face or the heel in the match because you're going to enjoy his work.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Next question here. We're going to get right on into it. Which company has the better women's division? Aaron, you lead.
I think that quality, as far as quality matches, I honestly, and I know I'm going to get flack for it, I really do think that WWE not only has the bigger star power, not taken away from AEW, because Toni Storm was amazing. Mercedes Moné, as much as I think she politics her way into everything, she is good. I'm a Sasha Banks mark. I love Sasha Banks. Therefore, I'm a big fan of Mercedes Moné. I think at the time when Mercedes and Toni Storm were at the helm of the women's division, the good contender for having a pretty dominant, competitor as far as women divisions go. But as long as, and he's not gonna like it. As much as I'm not a big fan of her wrestling, Jade Cargill, she is not the biggest star, but she adds something. As minuscule as she adds something. Rhea Ripley.
If you just want to give up this point, I'll let you.
Oh no, and I was getting ready to say
You arguing for Jade Cargill.
No, I'm saying you put in stuff like her, Tiffany Stratton, add a couple of those others. Io Sky, who Dave himself says the greatest wrestler on the planet right now. Not saying that Dave's word should be counted, but they have Io Sky and then Rhea Ripley. I'm sorry, they got Rhea Ripley. Call it game over. You ain't gonna beat that Aura farming. Yeah, sorry.
So they have Rhea Ripley. That's all.
No, I said they have Io Sky.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
I do highly enjoy Io Sky's work. I do think she is over the moon, one of the best. They gave her the Queen of the Ring today. That match was disrespected.
because of Danhausen.
Because of Danhausen. And I put in my notes here that I was on the fence before today. I was honestly giving the rub to WWE because they have Io Sky and because they have Rhea Ripley, which they do phenomenal with.
Not to mention Bianca.
I don't like Bianca. Sorry.
No, I was surprised. I didn't know a lot of people didn't like her.
I am not a Bianca fan. The hair thing throws me off.
Okay, that's a little silly, but I think she's pretty damn good in the ring. But this is
she can be. Give her shorter hair, and then we'll talk.
Is it the hair that throws you off?
Do we need to give her a wig?
Well,
you saw what happened with Jade.
I'm just saying,
But-
maybe we shave it off and we start over,
my notes with today's matches, they botched the Queen of the Ring.
Well, Liv shouldn't have been in it in the first place.
No. But they had Tiffany versus Jade today, and I put, what the hell is this crap? It was horrible. There were so many. That's the intensity they were giving. And then you have. I'm glad Chelsea Green came in and did what she did. But then you had the baddies. They are wasting Maya Yim. She could be doing so much more.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Medium.
For that company. But they've got her in a, sorry children, a goon role. Apparently that's a bad word now.
I thought
Not goon, but gooning.
I thought goon was
called a group of students goons one day, and they're like, "Whoa, Mr. Coomer, that's so wild! You can't say that." And I was like, What? You're acting like a bunch of little thugs. You don't know what gooning is, do you? I'm like, apparently I don't.
Gooning, but it's different from being a goon.
I thought goons were hockey guys that fought people.
Right.
There was a
Anyway.
wrestler called the Goon.
Yes. But I digress. It drove me to the point to where I was like, I almost feel like we're back in the Divas era. That's how bad it was.
Just that match itself, just the presentation of that match.
Well, you had so much of the women's roster in that match. Because this one came out, and that one came out, and this one came out. And it made me stop and think, really the only great things that's going on in the women's division of WWE right now is Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. Where in AEW, Thekla, oh my gosh. She, at first I was like, she's just a spooky chick. But she's doing really good work in Tony's absence. And when Tony comes back, because the juice got loose, if you will,
Yeah.
I think our babies are expected around the same time, which I'm excited about.
There you go.
But when she does get back, she's going to be one of the best things in wrestling. Outside of Io Sky and some other foreign wrestlers, well, they're both technically foreign. The two best wrestlers right now are Australian girls, Tony and Rhea.
Little Aussie influence there.
Yes. And I think that's why in the women's division of AEW goes so deep, even into Ring of Honor. I will say this till the day I die. WWE botched Ember Moon.
Oh, I agree.
And Athena has been phenomenal. She's about to surpass Roman Reigns' streak for holding on to the ROH women's title. She's like right on the precipice of breaking his how many days held.
Yeah, that's also kind of like saying this guy held the hardcore title for 3 years.
Well, that's neither here nor there.
Well, I only say that because, like, the way that Ring of Honor is promoted, not a lot of people would know that.
Right.
And another thing is, I was surprised that Athena lost in the Owen. I honestly thought we were going to have her and Mercedes run it back.
Oh, I would have loved to.
Because I think she's long overdue to be on the AEW main roster.
Mm-hmm.
She's capable of it, but for some reason, like, she's still been in Ring of Honor. So I always liked her as Ember Moon too. So
Yeah. I actually invited her to my wedding. And we got a response from her.
oh yeah,
Yeah, she said she would try.
well, at least you got something.
Yeah,
right?
we got a tweet back from her that she would try.
Huh.
She never showed up, but hey.
Oh well,
Emily still has that image saved.
that's awesome.
Where she tweeted back and was like, "Oh hey, I'm really busy, but I'll try."
That's awesome. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, so we kind of tippy-toed on this, but I want to go back on it. Which company has the better tag team division? Daniel.
There's no argument here. It's AEW.
This one I'll give to him. I think that WWE needs to do a lot better with their tag division.
Well, damn, just bend over and shove it in.
I mean, I can't really argue
I gave him the option before we even started.
with that. I mean, I'm not gonna. What am I supposed to do? Say, Tongaloa and Tala Tonga are the best thing going on right now. R-Truth and Damian Priest, they're the greatest thing since the Midnight Express. I mean, I can't. I'd be lying at that point. I can't defend that.
And I know you can't stand the guys, but that's one of the reasons why the Young Bucks are so important in AEW.
I think they're important for the foundation of it.
Exactly.
I don't think they're important now because I think they're just too stop and start with them because 1 minute they're killing Tony Khan, next year, we're baby faces fighting for the company.
Well, I'm talking outside of the ring.
Oh, okay.
They're
good for Hot Topic sales. I'll give them that.
Well, yes. But they are absolutely the tag team locker room leaders. And I feel like that's why that particular division in AEW works so well. Because they have that great foundation. And not to mention, you have banger tag teams like FTR, the Outrunners. You have teams that feel like teams. You don't have, hey, here's two random guys, let's smack them together.
In all fairness, isn't that how Brodito started? Even though they're awesome, they were thrown together a little bit. So it does work sometimes, but I get what you're saying.
Sometimes, yeah.
I get what you're saying.
Team Hell No.
Oh, look at that.
I loved that. But
Team Rated RKO.
Yes. Again, look who was in those teams, though.
Yeah.
You have, and you've already said yourself, at WWE, you have Damian Priest, who was champion just a couple years ago, teaming with R-Truth, who is very much a comedy character that they botched royally last year. Could have made him a serious character.
Yeah, I was disappointed that the Ron Killens thing didn't keep going. I was actually looking forward to that. But like I said, there's no reason for me to defend the tag division when I myself think that that's one of their weakest points is the tag division.
Well, I'm going to wrap two of these together because I feel they're pretty closely related. So which company puts out the better pay-per-view and has the better championship scene?
Depends on what you're asking for the pay-per-view. As far as match quality and match count, obviously.
Overall, I'm talking match quality, show quality. Overall, better.
Like the package?
Yes, completely. And this can include ads, considering.
Well, yeah, WWE, if you're talking about ads, yeah, they got them topped for sure. It depends on how you look at it, quality versus quantity. AEW obviously is going to give you the bang for your buck as far as matches. You're going to get plenty of matches. WWE, they like to give you 5. Sometimes they'll be gracious enough to give us 6 on a specific, which is weird. The Saudi shows have been the only ones that get 6 matches. It's weird. I don't.
From what I understand, Triple H has a personal rule about 5, and the Saudis are the only ones who can get an extra match out of it.
It worked for the takeovers, but I feel like we need a little bit more. So, in the long run, kind of comparing it here, I think there's some story elements that are a little bit better on the PLEs. They'll hit it out of the park with one big story moment. AEW, they just cram you with matches. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I mean, just me as a personal bias, I prefer to watch the WWE stuff better, but that's just me.
Well, going back to my point from earlier, you bring up, hey, there's one big story. That's the problem. There shouldn't be one big story with these pay-per-views / PLEs. You should have several stories coming together all at once, like, hey, we're wrapping this one up. This is the middle of this story. We've got this story finishing up. Where you only have usually 1 or 2 big stories wrapping up with the PLEs. It's almost like they bide their time for the big four. And even when you get to the big four anymore, some of these matches feel like they're just shoehorned in, which I'm not going to sit there and say the AEW doesn't do that as well. But you have several different stories coming together beautifully into one big package. Double or Nothing was a perfect example of this, where you had several matches that didn't feel forced. I think there was one bathroom match that I was like, I could care less about this. The rest of it, though, it was, oh, hey, I know the story going into this. They're playing the story out like this. And then it's either we're finishing this story or there's something going to happen that will continue the story. And you have that all throughout the night. Where with WWE, like you said, they'll have that one big punch. Like, oh yeah, Cody finally finished his story. Oh yeah, Punk finally got his main event at Mania. Okay, now what?
Oh, hey guys, The Rock's here and he's doing this.
Right. And then you talk about the title scene. Do we really need to talk about the title scene after what happened today? It's almost mind-numbing that I feel like there have been 3 guys over the last year that have really, really been champion in WWE. And that's Cody, Roman, and for a minute, Punk. And now Sammy. Which again, Sammy will hold on to it. He'll either drop it at SummerSlam or he's going to drop it on Monday.
Think it'd be that quick, huh?
Oh yeah, yeah. If he drops it on Monday, that answers the question: did he get it just for a nostalgia hometown boy pop?
Yeah. Almost be kind of like if Jay Briscoe wins the belt, which I like Jay Briscoe, but he don't need to be winning the belt.
No, he doesn't need to.
I'm weirdly rooting for Jay Briscoe.
I mean, that'd be kind of out of nowhere, right?
You will root for Jay Briscoe because you want to see it. It'd be cool, but he doesn't need that. There's a reason you go back in time and you look at Tommy Dreamer in ECW. How many times was he ECW champion?
Once.
Once. You know how long that lasted?
Like 30 seconds, right?
About 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Not even that.
He won it one time just to say he got it. And then...
Oh, the Raven?
Yeah. He said, I don't need it. He told Heyman time and time again, I don't need it. And a lot of these guys, I don't think they get that concept. That they don't necessarily need the title. That was my argument with Punk earlier. Punk didn't need to win the title. He'd already gotten his roses time and time again.
So you're saying it's like the saying, the title doesn't make the guy makes the title.
100%.
Yeah.
And right now with the AEW title scene, you have several guys that benefit from having that title. I would go as far as saying Mox would benefit with one more run, even though I don't think he would need it.
No, please, not with the Death Riders.
Oh, I would love to see it with the Death Riders. I would love to see the Death Riders go on an all-out reign of terror and collect all the titles.
That should have ended it all in.
And
now we've got Will Ospreay doing the "Am I a good guy? Am I a bad guy?" thing.
Well,
getting
let
hyped
me
up
say
in the
this about
locker.
The Death Riders getting all the titles, all of them except for the women's, because Maria Shafir could use some work.
Yeah, don't put a live mic in front of her.
Oh my gosh. she was one of the reasons why I was debating, do I really want to say AEW?
You don't know me.
But no, title scene and pay-per-view scene, AEW, no question.
I could say yay or nay as far as the pay-per-view stuff. Like I said, it's personal preference. I still say with the title scene, There is that star power. I mean, as much as people rag on Jey Uso, when he had the belt there for a while, he was still pretty over. Granted, it diminished very quickly, but they're still great contenders, I think. Look at Oba. He's getting ready to become a monster contender.
He absolutely is. But a lot of these guys, they get it, much like Sammy most likely will. How do those title reigns end? Kofi Kingston had the biggest smack in the face that anybody has ever had.
That was pretty rough.
And I am hoping and praying the New Day show up in AEW where they can be treated properly.
Do you think Big E's going to come out of retirement if that happens?
No, I think he's done. I'm pretty sure he said he's pretty much retired.
Yeah,
He could, maybe.
He had to say that because WWE made him say that, though.
I mean, it is possible.
that happens, but from his size and the type of injury he had, I don't think it's going to happen. Look at what was his name? Ridge Holland, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also think I've seen him on a poster earlier too, where he's wrestling for an indie.
Oh, Ridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, Rick Boogs turned out, on the up and up. He's doing the American Gladiator thing now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Isn't Brian Cage doing some sort of gladiator thing?
He's still in AEW.
Oh, I know, but when he brought up American Gladiators, I thought Brian,
he might be. I don't
doing
know.
something on the side, maybe.
for some reason I thought I saw a clip of him and Rick Boogs standing.
That goes back to an argument earlier about the roster and which one's better to work in. They're allowed to do more outside stuff with AEW than WWE, but that's old topic.
All right. So I want to wrap up the which company is better than the other with commentary teams.
Oh God, this is
Sensitive subject here.
No brainer here. Jeez, I'll say this: Tony Schiavone is one of the best that there was. He was the voice of WCW. I think he needs to wind it down. Number two, as just a personal preference, Excalibur annoys the hell out of me. He reminds me of Todd Grisham, and that's a level you don't want to be on. As far as the WWE roster, I think they're better. Not saying it's perfect because, Michael Cole is hit or miss. He's in that JR spot, not comparing him to JR, but he's in the top, I'm the top announcer guy. I dig Corey Graves. Pat McAfee hit or miss, but overall, I think the WWE's I think they're better at creating the commentary team than AEW is. Just my opinion.
So when they're on, Cole and Graves are two of the best. I will not deny that they are great. I was listening to them today as I was writing my notes. And I was like, they work really well together. They are pretty much this generation's JR and King. That being said, if you're talking about commentary as a whole, there are a lot of commentators on both sides. And I think overall, even with Cole and Graves in that equation, Tony Schiavone, I still think he's goated.
Oh, I'm not denying that from him. I just think
Excalibur, I think he brings the right amount of knowledge to the table. Does he go over the top with it? Yeah. He needs to learn that he's not the color guy. Taz? We love Taz.
I mean, him and Michael Cole, nobody talks about how goated they were together.
Right.
I sometimes thought they were better than JR and King.
Oh,
back in the day.
And they had a different relationship. It wasn't, I'm the color, you're the play-by-play. It was, I'm Taz, and that's fucking Michael Cole over there, little tomato.
Soup bone, Cole.
And I'm doing my thing, and Cole's here too. It's pretty much like the Taz show, and they treated Cole like a sidekick.
Yeah.
Well, we add Taz into that equation. I give the edge, and it's like right here with the two companies. I give the slight edge to AEW Simply because of the Taz memes. I love watching Botchamania
Oh,
and
God.
them having the Taz skit.
Oh, God. What is it, Cole? What? What are you talking about, Cole? What is that? Oh, I don't know. I don't know what that is, Cole.
Ruby, so
See that girl over there? What's she doing?
Uh,
Alrighty, so if there was one wrestler you could have from the other company immediately, which one would it be? I'm not familiar. I forgot who was leading at this point.
Kenny Omega. Furthest, just because like he's my favorite AEW wrestler, Kenny Omega. As much as I'm not a big fan of the Elite, the battle cry song is awesome. His entrance, the occasional Justin Roberts over the top. His favorite candy is the Charleston Chew, like stuff like that. I don't know. Kenny's awesome. I hate to see his body going the way it is because I think prime like 2017, 18 Kenny Omega would be a monster in WWE. So if I had to pick one, I could say MJF too, but like I don't know. I would go with Kenny Omega. But for like the long term, MJF. But for the big spectacle of saying, "Holy crap, we got Kenny Omega for a big dream match," yeah, Kenny Omega.
So on the other side of that, it would be very, very easy to say Seth or Gunther here. But what a lot of times we don't look at is how would they fit into that model. Again, going back to the Punk argument. Punk was good for that initial, oh, holy crap. But who would fit into the model long term? L.A. Knight. Yeah!
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been absolutely wasted at WWE.
That's annoying.
The fact that Sami Zayn got that title today and Knight's had, 2 or 3 opportunities? And he's more or less had those opportunities in 4, 5, 6-way matches.
Mm-hmm.
He can do so much more. The stuff he did in TNA was
Dummy,
phenomenal.
Yeah.
And he would just do really well with the AEW setup. I think they could immediately put him into the main event picture, and he would do well. Holy crap, it would be an Austin Rock situation with him and MJF.
Oh, I would actually be very interested to see the promo battles between those two.
That would be phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like, you bring up how much you like Punk as a talker. I don't know why they haven't had them going at it.
Oh, they've teased it a little bit.
Yeah.
They've not gone full on board with it.
Right. One that goes back to my argument that I don't think he's that great, but also LA Knight, he simply is not getting used to his full potential. If he was in AEW, he would be an automatic main eventer. He would be at Wembley with the best of them this year.
My only concern would be, because there's been some cases where a guy will come over, get a big splash, and then they're just kind of lost in the shuffle. That's my biggest problem with the big roster. I agree, him showing up would be a huge thing. For example, Adam Cole. I mean, he came in hell of a buzz. He got his big moment at Wembley, but unfortunately, injuries and creative things like the devil. That's that crap. That masked gimmick crap. Sometimes I feel like it's not a long-term thing. I would be kind of weary of maybe LA Knight not lasting. His momentum wouldn't last that long. Granted, I say when he comes in, his splash is going to be huge, but unless they go gung-ho full force and not get him in the shuffle of the mid card, not him fighting Shane Taylor promotions or feuding with the Don Callis family, that would be my only fear of him doing that.
So you bring up him not going against factions. The perfect faction for him to go against would be the Death Riders. You sigh. Who was his roomie on the Indies?
John Good, aka John Moxley.
Absolutely.
I would be okay with a John Moxley LA Knight
Right.
feud.
They have chemistry going into it. And I don't think the Death Riders are really going to go anywhere for a little bit. I don't think it's going to
They're
go,
too cool, man. They're not going anywhere.
right.
All right, here we go.
I don't think it's going to be worn out like the Bloodline story, but it doesn't have the longevity of the Bullet Club either. So I feel like if he were to come in, he were to get into it with Mox, that would be absolute cinema.
I agree. If you know, as much as I don't like the Death Riders, if programmed Moxley and LA Knight, I could be on board with that 100%.
So there's a lot of places.
Just don't put bamboo skewers in LA Knight's head, please. That's a beautiful forehead.
Nah, go for it. I think they did that in CZW once.
They did that on. They've done that a few times on AEW television, I think too.
Oh,
He
I'm
brought up
talking about LA Knight.
Okay. For a second, I was like, oh, okay.
I know they've done it on AEW.
Yeah.
They're probably doing it right now.
So, name a wrestler from the opposite company that is overrated.
Oh, the opposite company.
So
For you, it'll be an AEW wrestler, and for him, it'll be a WWE wrestler. I'm mixing things up a little.
Oh, okay. Who I think is
that's not fair.
overrated in AEW.
I gotta keep you guys on your toes.
Overrated. Oh man. Well,
shoot, that's an easier question.
I figured it would be.
I've already argued it.
Well, as much as they're an influence on the tag divisions, I do think the Bucks are overrated in the sense that just to me it seems like they do the same thing over and over again.
Super kick.
Yeah. Super kick party, the stupid kiss you on the cheek and then double knee. I don't know. For some reason that just irks me. But yeah, if I had to pick an act, to me overrated would be the Young Bucks. I think the fans glaze them more than they actually deserve to be glazed. That's just me.
So they're the best tag team in the world for a reason. One of those reasons is how they command the tag locker room. And they have the respect of the tag teams there. I love their in-ring work. I think they work great together. I am so glad they have never been separated like so many tag teams do.
I'm sorry, I still can't get over Generation Me. Ugh.
That was so long ago.
Bro, they thought they could run the locker room, bro.
So long ago. But we want to talk about overrated in the WWE. Again, you made my question easier than harder. And I'm not going to go what I've already argued with Punk, because I 100% think he's probably right up there with the most overrated. But Cody is so overrated.
I wasn't expecting to hear you say that.
Cody is so overrated. And here's why. He pretty much did the same thing Punk did with his contract. When he came in, you knew he was going to get a title run. Because when he was in AEW, he was like, oh, I'll never hold the title. I'll never hold the title. Because it was his company. He didn't want to come off with having a big head. And then he goes to WWE and it's like, I want to finish my daddy's legacy. I want to be the guy that finally gives the Rhodes name respect. And I'm like,
what's wrong with that?
Well, to be fair, that almost sounds like
forced.
the WWE writing team.
Right.
I mean, it was kind of set up that way.
It was. It 100% was. And it was so forced. He's not that great.
Well, it had been forced if he won it the first pay-per-view back from
That's why
WrestleMania.
they didn't do that, though. Because they wanted to build that story. I'll finish your story. Finish Dusty's story. Dusty was world champion several times over. Just not there. Dusty was also never world champion in AEW. But he wasn't pulling that crap over there.
But it did lead to, I thought, was a really great payoff with WrestleMania 40, though.
It was a happy moment. But the problem with wrestling is that happy moment lasts that night. Guess
do you do
what?
next
Raw's
week?
tomorrow.
Yep.
Where do you go? That's why he is so overrated, because he was a one-trick pony. Every program he has had since has been flat.
I mean, they've not been the greatest. I don't think they're necessarily
I
flat.
think they have been flat simply because he had that one shot, he got it, and now it's like, oh, yeah, I'm wrestling legitimately the best wrestler in the company versus a guy that was kind of shoehorned in here.
Wow. I think I might agree with you, but I think he's got the goods to back it up, if in that sense, because I don't know. To me, it boggles my mind that
I will chime in. A lot of people like to nick WWE because nepotism seems to be king.
Yes. That's another one of those. You talk about classic wrestlers. Macho Man Randy Savage. Dusty, baby.
monkey like a monkey.
Dusty was classic wrestlers. Dusty is my second favorite. Okay. But I enjoyed his first kid. I loved what Dustin did. I love what Dustin's still doing.
Oh, Goldust is one of the greatest gimmicks of all time.
Yeah. And I will give Cody credit where credit's due. The match he had with Dustin was beautiful. I thought it worked so well. His other 5-star match that he had against Roman, the story was there. But those stories only last so long. And now he has nothing else to go off of. He got that nepotism push,
Yes.
and he's just, oh, hey, he's our American boy. And I look at him, and every time I look at him, I go, no, he's not the face of WWE. He's cosplaying as Homelander.
I mean, the nepotism, I feel like, would be a good argument if not for the fact of Stardust. I mean, if he was really that nepo thing and that influence, I don't think he would have been mishandled the way he was.
Look who was running the company at the two separate times.
Well, Vince was running the company when he came back. Yeah.
He was...
No, Vince was pretty much up there until mid to end of 2022. Cody Rhodes' push coming in and everything was all a Vince McMahon thing. Vince and Bruce got Cody to come back.
Right.
That was his pet project.
But my point there is, back here, he was still poking at Dusty. He couldn't stand Dusty, but he was still poking at him. That's why they had the backstage thing with Gold Dust and Stardust and Dusty, and they come through and they do their weird thing, and man, my kid's a wheel.
Yeah.
But then you have these years later, oh crap, bud. We gotta squash this AEW thing now. What better way to squash them than taking their creator, if you will, and saying, I'll give you a title, I'll give you this, I'll give you that. I'll give you a perfect story. He built something, yes. Cody. He did well at building that. But it was things around him. It wasn't necessarily him.
So my question would be then, because before all AEW, he was kind of making a career renaissance in the indies. The best thing that happened for him was when he got released or requested his release in 2016. Because when he was doing the American Nightmare stuff on the indies, that's what laid the groundwork for his eventual characterization. Because the American Nightmare really bloomed, I thought, in New Japan when he joined the Bullet Club and he got hooked up with the Elite. So I feel like he kind of showed Vince, oh, I'm a money player. I feel like that had a lot to do also with not only the fact of, hey, let's take one of AEW's founders, because I'm sure obviously that was there. But I think Cody earned that. I really did. I thought he was one of those guys, kind of like a Drew McIntyre, who took leaving the company to rebuild themselves and come back and become a bigger star.
I feel like the only reason Cody became a quote unquote bigger star was because of the people around him. Him being with the Bullet Club, him being with the
Oh, no doubt about the Bullet Club. When he's joined them, that's when he really people started paying more attention to him.
Well, and that goes for anybody that's come through that faction. It's just a simple fact that the majority of them have gone on to do good things. Evil just joined NXT, and he's going to be huge. If done right, I hope and praise done right. But at the end of the day, Cody, I just feel like he's there. I could have taken this with the softball with Jade Cargill, but I feel like I hit on that here in a minute.
Why don't you answer that question, or is it Jade Cargill?
What, the most
overrated?
Probably. She's done nothing, and I mean nothing, to have the status she has, other than she's big and tall, played basketball,
and married to a former Reds player.
She's greener than goose shit, ladies and gentlemen. I'll stand by my comments.
Fair enough.
So, I want to throw another curveball. What is one thing the opposite side refuses to admit?
I would have to say, and this also kind of comes to the reason that I'm not the biggest fan of AEW, and it's not necessarily the wrestlers themselves, although I don't like some of them. I think the AEW fans need to admit that they can be a little crazy. Now, the WWE fans are pretty crazy too, but AEW, there's a reason they're called the Sickos, and they've embraced that name. Have you noticed that? They've embraced the Sicko name. I think they're very, we want to use the term hypocritical. I think that's one of the reasons that there's so much because look at the wrestlers. The wrestlers are all buddies in real life. All the conflict starts with the fans. And like I said, the WWE fans, they have their issues, but I truly think it's because the AEW fans want this to be so huge that they're willing to just go nuts and be crazy over it. And that's the one thing that kind of drove me away. I don't know.
I feel like you're arguing a later point, which I actually feel right there with you. But it's on both sides.
Oh yeah.
And I think I see it with the WWE side more, and you see it with the AEW side more, because we're in the opposite camp there. But I see it everywhere. Oh, AEW's better because we're the little guy. We're out here making a statement. We're not making a statement. I like AEW simply because I think it's a better product. I think that the wrestlers do better work. Not because we're making a statement. And then the WWE guys, you have them. Well, we're the tried and true. We were able to crush WCW. We've more or less taken over TNA. Those are the extremes of both sides that come in and ruin it for us guys kind of towards the middle that want to enjoy the other side. Like, I watched WWE today. I wanted to enjoy it. I wanted to.
Keyword.
I'll go back to Mania. I enjoyed 2 of the Mania matches. Again, Obafemi Brock Lesnar. Cinema. Loved it. I would probably rank that in one of the top matches of the year. Now, these extreme AEW guys, though, they won't even take the time to watch it.
That's my thing. Is like, I really want, I mean, I would love to enjoy some of the AEW stuff, and I've enjoyed some of it, but it's like, you could be online, and I've seen this, where you could be like, you could praise an AEW match, and then you say, "Oh, by the way, I thought this match at Mania was pretty good," and then they all dogpile you like, "Oh, you're not even a real fan." I just praised an AEW match. It's like it has to be AEW or nothing. WWE has that problem too. I just feel like, to me, I see it more on the AEW side because they desperately want this company to be number one, where the fans in WWE, they already think WWE's number one.
Well, and that goes to a psychological thing. You're going to see more AEW harping on the WWE guys. And it's the same for me. I see the WWE guys harping more on AEW. Again, it's honestly about the same.
So like,
if you were to get a true middle ground person to look at this, and it's like they're just crapping on each other.
Yeah.
But we see it from our perspectives and the perspective that we try to have in our head because we lean slightly more WWE or slightly more AEW. And at the end of the day, I think people just need to take a step back and be like, hey, let's just enjoy wrestling.
yeah, because in all honesty, like I mentioned earlier, the wrestlers themselves are probably sitting back laughing at all of us.
Oh, yeah.
So let's call a spade a spade. It sounds to me like you're discussing tribalism.
Mm-hmm.
So let's move on to the next question, which is, does tribalism hurt or overall help wrestling as a whole?
I think it does more harm than good, because it's kind of the same thing with football in a way. Like when I started getting into football and I started liking the Bengals, oh God, as soon as you go on any sort of message board, any Pittsburgh team, Baltimore team, or Cleveland team, oh my gosh, it's visceral, and vice versa. And then the same way with the wrestling thing. And it goes back to the point again. The wrestlers don't care at all. Most of them don't even care about the tribalism. They're sitting back and watching the sicko fans and the diehard rabid fans fighting with each other over something that really is meaningless.
Well, you bring up a good point there with the wrestlers. You have guys that are legitimately like best friends with people on the other side.
Yeah.
And they'll call up and they'll be like, hey, do you see what Mox just did? Oh, hey, do you see what Knight just did?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, we're going to have these cool conversations between each other as wrestlers, but then the tribalism of, oh, you can only be on this side. No, you can only be on this side. I made those alternate art pictures in the memes this week, and that's exactly what it boils down to. Is if I were to bring a Coke in here, you're not going to bash me over the head because of it.
No.
But there are people that are like, no Coke in my house. Only Pepsi.
Yeah. Makes
and
sense.
It's like, why?
Yeah.
It's a preference.
Yeah.
It boils down to nothing other. It's just an arbitrary reason.
Yeah, like when Ricky Starks was still in AEW, they caught him on the CT footage with Cody at the Rumble.
Yeah.
And the AEW fans lost their minds. Because, like, how dare he? And I'm sure it could be the other way around, too, in that sense. But that's my example. It's like, who cares? They're friends.
Well, I'll never forget. There was an episode of NXT where Adam Cole was wrestling, and it panned to the crowd. And
there's Britt Baker. Yeah.
And underneath of it, it said Adam Cole's girlfriend. And it's like, oh, hey, that's cool.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was cool, but
I'm sure there were some AEW fans that didn't like.
They were, oh, hey. She's at NXT. She's going to jump ship to NXT, or he's going to jump ship to AEW, which that did happen. But
yeah,
it wasn't because they were trying to be, oh, hey, I'm going to go to this better place now.
They automatically see them in the enemy camp, and it automatically just gears their sights and like, oh, they're it's negative thoughts now. It's like, how dare they?
Right.
Very quickly, I would like to touch on which fan base is more insufferable online. Just a hot take.
Well, as a whole, the IWC, but
I would beg to differ that the Juggalos.
whoop, whoop.
I've actually been watching some of that quality stuff.
Oh man, it's interesting for sure. Vince Russo's living his dream, but I mean, I've already touched upon it, and then we've already touched upon the already self-preserved bias within which side you're on. just me, like personally, like you do when every time I almost sometimes dread when pay-per-views happen, because when an AEW pay-per-view happens, you're going to hear nothing but praise, which a lot of times they'll obviously deserve depending on some of their matches. But then some WWE fans will maybe point out some criticisms in them, and they're flayed alive. And then when I see a WWE pay-per-view happen, even if there's some justification, oh yeah, this angle kind of sucked, the AEW fans just tear the whole show apart and don't even recognize the good stuff that's in it. And then that just always irked me and bugged me. So I always kind of dread when pay-per-views happen, because I know getting on Twitter or anything, it's going to aggravate me. I'm going to turn my phone off.
Right, and vice versa. You've got your e-droids that will come out and they will absolutely crap on anything AEW does just because it's not WWE.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you can appreciate good wrestling, good entertainment without making yourself out to be a baboon online.
Yeah. Yeah, most of the time it's these idiots that are behind their computer screen. Yeah, just thinking they're hot shit or something. But
So who is the better booker, Tony Khan or Triple H?
I'm obviously going to say Triple H, because I think Tony Khan's booking is so erratic and inconsistent. I don't know. For honestly, and another reason, I don't think he always fully. They claim he has the final say, which he may well do, but I don't think a lot of the ideas he comes up with. I think he takes the suggestions from some of the wrestlers and he may tweak maybe a little bit, but I don't think he's fully making a lot of the choices. I don't think. I really don't think he does. I think like there's too many cooks in the kitchen with Tony. With Triple H, I think because I take he did an NXT Gold, and I think that he still brings some of that, but a lot of the problem is now he's trying to serve too many masters. A lot of things like TKO, the board. I think he needs to quit listening to Michael Hayes sometimes. Bruce Pritchard. I think Triple H needs to be like, no, they gave me the reins. I'm going to do what I did for NXT and bring it here, which he's done in certain aspects. And I might even argue and say Undertaker might be the best booker right now of all three of these people. But that's
honestly, I almost jumped in and said that. It's almost like TKO isn't even paying attention to AAA, and they're putting on really.
Oh, I bet you 100% they don't even.
TKO was only looking at bottom lines on profit sheets.
Right.
Yeah.
But that my point here is Tony Khan has the freedom, Triple H has TKO. And it's hard to say which one truly is the better booker there because of the TKO aspect and the almost absolute freedom some of these guys get in AEW. One of the things that hurt WCW so much was the creative freedom they would give guys.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a part of me that wants to say AEW does that too much, which is why I think Tony would benefit from having somebody come in and assist him. Let the Bucks run the tag team division. Go back to letting Kenny run a division. Bring somebody in with experience to help go over your main title, your mid card, whatever. I'm not saying take away the freedom from these guys, but have somebody to help kind of guide that freedom. Where with Triple H and TKO, I feel like Triple H could be such a good booker if his hands weren't tied with certain things.
I mean, look at the Cena heel turn was pretty much forced on him.
Yeah.
I mean, he kind of had to do what he had to do. I wish he had more stroke, because he has the capability of doing that. I look at some of the stuff he did in NXT Gold.
Right, yeah. There's a question coming up where I argue that point. So,
but yeah.
All right, so we're gonna shift gears just a hair here. I want to ask about the state of wrestling in general, just kind of some overall general topics. Are promos more important than work rate, or is work rate more important than a promo?
If you want to sell people into the building and get people into the building, I think promos have an edge on it. You can have the most spectacular match. Like, for example, there's probably indie federations out there that are putting on some of the most spectacular things you're thinking of, but are they getting people in the seats? I think the promo ability and the presentation is, in that regards, a little bit more of something that's important. You want to pull them in with that and then show them what's in the ring. So I think it's like a 1-2 punch. I think the presentation needs to be there first to get them in there and then blow their minds away with what they can do in the ring.
I'm more or less in the same camp there with a good promo can only get you so far. You can be one of the best talkers in the history of professional wrestling. But if you can't back it up in the ring, it means nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You might as well be Bobby Heenan. Nothing against Bobby Heenan. Was Bobby Heenan one of the best wrestlers ever?
No.
No. He was probably right up there, 2, if not 1, with best manager of all time.
100%.
But you can't sit there and call him the best wrestler of all time.
Look at Jake Roberts. Brilliant on the microphone. He was fairly limited in the ring.
Right. Going to the other side of that argument, one that you guys brought up last week that I hate to bring up, but it's part of wrestling history, Chris Benoit.
Mm-hmm.
Phenomenal wrestler.
Yeah.
Great in the ring. Absolute piece of crap in real life. He wasn't able to talk on the mic.
No, he was not very good on the stick. I mean, they were even going to bring.
Intense, but that was
he could.
You can only go so far with that.
Yeah. He was pretty wooden in a lot of his delivery, very much. So that's why they were going to bring in Paul Heyman to be his manager at one point, because they were going to give him a mouthpiece. But I agree with you on that one with Chris for sure.
So I want to put a bow on today's discussion with a pretty much kind of the general consensus of the wrestling world right now. And it's kind of a 2-for-1 here. Is AEW becoming what it originally claimed to be against? And has WWE become too corporate for its own good?
I'll let you go first.
To a point, AEW is starting to become what it started off as being against. But what they were against was big business and wanting to be an alternative. You need the big business aspect to compete. Otherwise, you're TNA.
Yeah,
exactly.
Plain and simple. TNA had the backing of Jeff Jarrett starting out. But they never really grew. They would have guys come in every now and then and be like, okay, we're going to take it over. We're going to take it over. Oh my gosh, we brought in Hulk Hogan. Yeah, that was after he ruined his life.
Yeah.
But on the flip side of that, I think it's kind of a good thing that AEW is shifting that gear, because they're starting to become that healthy alternative where, oh, hey, we're so much against WWE that we can't do anything WWE is doing. We have to present ourselves like an actual sports show and give win-loss records and things like that. Now that they've shifted gears away from that, they're not putting themselves in such a corner.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, because I was actually kind of intrigued when they said we're going to do the win-losses matter. And I was kind of disappointed when they just swept that under the rug a little bit, because I thought that it's kind of like the six-sided ring. It's an aspect that made them different.
Yeah.
I thought.
It made them different, but it was coming to the point to where it was definitely cornering them.
Yeah, because how are you going to honestly keep track of that? I mean, it's going to eventually get to a point where it's going to be hard to manage.
Oh, they can absolutely keep track of it.
But it paints you into a corner creatively.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Wait, why is this guy? These guys won like 20 matches. Why is he not challenging for the world
Can't
title?
bring some new guy into the fold when Bill Goldberg has won fucking 60 in a row.
Right.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
If that was the case, I'm pretty sure Mox, Okada, and maybe MJF would be the only ones that would legitimately be in the title picture.
Mm-hmm.
Because wins and losses in wrestling don't necessarily mean that you're not good.
Yeah.
Or you're better.
Mm-hmm.
It just means it's not your time yet.
Bill Goldberg, for example.
Yeah.
Won so many matches in a row, but...
Streak might be inflated.
Right. Right. Was he better than Sting?
No.
No. Sting's goated.
Mm-hmm.
He's on several Mount Rushmores, where Goldberg might be on one.
The nicest guy. He might be on a nice guy mount because he's legitimately pretty much a nice.
Sting?
No, I was going to say Goldberg.
Really?
I think he's
Young
like.
Sting was kind of a dick. Old
Yes.
Sting's pretty cool.
Well, no, what I meant was I thought you were saying Goldberg would only be on one Mount Rushmore, and I said, oh, do you mean like a nice guy? Because like he does a lot of nice stuff for animals and kids and stuff. That's where I thought you were going. So
I meant just wrestling.
oh, okay,
There's
sorry.
several of them that could be on Nice Guy Mount Rushmore.
Sorry, I misunderstood
And
what you were.
several of them that could be on, oh my gosh, you're a horrible human being Mount
Oh,
Rushmore.
yes.
Austin Aries.
Yeah,
Can't stand him.
yeah, he's a bit of a dick. Ask Christy Hemme.
But at the end of the day, have they changed from what they originally were? Yes. Is it for the better? Yes. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter that they're so much different than WWE. We just need an alternative that's big enough to hold our attention. I love all kinds of different wrestling promotions. New Japan, best wrestling in the world. I can't understand a word they say. Sorry.
Yeah.
JCW. There's arguments to be had with some of their wrestlers.
It's not a wrestling show, bro. It's a TV show. Vince Russo quote, by the way.
Yeah. Will I go into my sicko mode sometimes and pull up CZW clips? Absolutely. But those aren't competitive alternatives. Where I believe AEW truly is a competitive alternative. You can flip the channel, and a lot of people crap on this statement, but it feels like good old WCW. Where you were flipping the channel on Monday nights, being like, oh, okay, this is cool. Oh, Hogan's doing this. Oh, Austin's doing this.
Fair enough. And then I'll say that like I said, I was a little excited, like not excited, but I was kind of titillated a little bit with the the record system, and then I was a little flat. It was a little
Titillated. He plays the titar.
Yeah, the titar. I had to plug that. And then deflated when they got rid of it. But without that even being in the equation, I find myself kind of liking like the early year or two of AEW. Like I like their presentation because they legit felt to me like an alternative. And I feel like they're slowly morphing into maybe WWE light, minus WWE doesn't have all the high flying crazy matches. Like just like the death, I harp on the Death Riders again. That just to me felt like a bad version of the Bloodline. But I just for me, I tend to like the older AEW more. I mean, like I've not always been the biggest fan, but if I go and watch old clips and stuff, I tend to watch that first year when they first started on TNT. I like that stuff a little bit more than I do the current stuff. That's just me.
And my point with that, you're going to have lulls. any company, not just wrestling, but companies in general, they're going to have lulls. Like, I guarantee you, if you look at the history of NFL, there were Super Bowls that did not perform well.
Oh, I'm sure.
Several decades worth.
Right. But AEW, they were in that lull for a minute. I won't disagree with that. But they're coming out of it. And I think it wraps back around to our argument with Punk. I think a lot of that was them trying to recover from what the damage done there.
They've definitely kind of gone back an uphill trajectory, because when he left, it did create a period of doubt with a lot of people. And then I feel like after the wounds, I guess, healed, they're trying to do better. And I think they're going in a better direction, I think.
Well, and that's something I see on the WWE side too, though. There was that, oh yay, the old man's gone, we don't have to worry about him being a perv and doing this and doing that. And now it's like, oh hey, we're going to have commercials during pay-per-views. We're going to put labels on our rings for anything and everything that we can think of.
Oh God.
I had a whole bit planned for the question.
Is that Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
Yes, it is.
Oh, my bad, brother.
No, it's like it's like, yeah, Ray and Dominic. That was a great match. We don't need the Cinnamon Toast guy out here.
I looked so hard for dude wipes. I've actually got some at home, but I completely forgot to bring them.
Oh my
and
God.
I was going to be like, oh yeah, this is going to be great for my bit.
Nice. The second part of that question, and we'll probably definitely agree on it. WWE's definitely gone too corporate. The problem with the corporate thing is, look what happened with WCW. It got to the point where Time Warner didn't care about the wrestling. Even though they had the highest ratings that they could, they didn't care. When the corporate gets in there, that's a big problem. That's the only thing about that you can say good about Vince, was when it was a family-run, privately owned company, you didn't have to worry about the public stockholders. You did what you did. And I think that's one of the biggest problems, because then
Even when he took the company public, he still did what he did.
So that's why I said that's the problem with Triple H, with what's going on with him right now, is he's serving too many masters, too many cooks in the kitchen trying to control it. And not everybody knows. I'm sure there's people in TKO who have no clue how wrestling works. Oh, this guy's selling T-shirts. Let's do this. Or, we're charging these tickets. Oh, people are still buying them. Oh, well, that's okay. Let them keep buying them. We don't care. That's the corporate part of it is really stupid. You shouldn't have to take out a loan to go to a show.
No. And not just like a Mania or a Rumble, but a show up the road in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Just a Raw or a SmackDown.
Yeah. It's insane. It's insane.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, with that, I'm going to curtail the discussion for today, and we are going to wrap up today's episode of the Rated R Wrestling Podcast.
Thank you.
And as always, I am Michael the Motherfucker.
I'm Aaron, a.k.a. Stud Muffin Supreme.
Big Papa Coom, Dan Coomer.
I appreciate I had a fun discussion with you today. It was actually interesting.
We appreciate you coming on the show. You're welcome anytime.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's talk some old school wrestling next time around.
Oh yeah, we cover the gambit.
I'll crap on Bret Hart a little bit,
especially if we get Rain Man back.
Oh, he'll take those Bret Hart words like fighting words.
Yes.
That's what I'm looking for. I need a charged debate. Make me feel like I'm back in high school.
There you go.
If you have any suggestions, comments, or otherwise want to holler at us about anything we've said, please hit us up in the comments. And as always, I'm Michael the Motherfucker, and this has been the
Rated R Wrestling
Podcast.
Thanks for tuning in, folks.